Previously on Inspired Initiative. Our heroes found themselves battling fearsome Tidefins, shark-like creatures that somehow made their way into the heart of Elendor. After a well-fought battle, they spoke with Captain Tyron Greaves to figure out how these beasts had managed to breach the city's defenses. With the immediate threat resolved, however, the party tended to some various tasks around the city, such as selling the dead Tidefins to a local alchemist, reclaiming some weapons they've left at the inn, and taking a guided tour of Elendor with the knowledgeable Therian Starshadow, who shared valuable insights about the city's layout and even gifted Maldorwen a detailed map of Elendor. Later, the group reconvened with Captain Greaves at the Tide Chapter to plan their next moves. She voiced her concern about the Tidefins' strange appearance, suspecting a potential link to the Khazdurim. Determined to get to the bottom of it, she officially inducted the party as members of the Dawnward Sentinels. Returning to the scene, the group struggled to find any new leads, until a storm warden detective named Gronk approached, thanking them for their efforts. Continuing their investigation along a canal, they stumbled upon a shadowed area that concealed the tunnel leading deeper below the city's waters. Where does this mystery tunnel lead? Are the Khazdurim somehow involved? And what dangers wait below? Find out on tonight's episode of Inspired Initiative. Tonight, our story continues, as the four adventurers here are searching and investigating this canal, just uncovered this dark shadowed tunnel that is right under the canal itself. Both Rhukkarrak and Asja are still within the waters itself, kind of having a better look, while Maldorwen and Euan are above, kind of supervising. As you just uncover this tunnel, curiosity kind of fills you all as to where it could go. Is this where the Tidefins actually came from? What caused this to be there? It couldn't have been there the entire time, right? What would you all like to do?
If you could remind me, DM, what time of day is it?
It's about midday, a little bit after midday at this point.
Right. So go ahead, Asja.
Asja is underwater still, if I remember correctly. That's where we left those two. But seeing the big tunnels, she is going to kind of swim up to the surface and kind of just call out to Euan and to Maldorwen as she kind of feels around on the upper deck or dock or roadway or whatever. Do you see small stone or pebble or marble or anything just small? And she's
Here,
just
use
gonna
this.
kind of.
And I'm gonna flick a coin at her.
You might not get it back. Actually, good chance you won't get it.
Good.
Okay.
More weight off my back.
What is that for?
Trick we use back in my city to check something. Check how deep things go. And she takes the coin and she's going to lift it up to her lips and just very quietly whisper into it, but the breath you start to see come out as she's whispering into it seems to almost have a faint glimmer to it, and the coin will start to glow with light.
Okay.
I'll be right back. And she's gonna take a deep breath and go back down to the hole.
Okay, as the light starts to suffuse from the coin itself, kind of illuminating the waters here more thoroughly as you start to dive down into the waters towards the base of the canal, which the waters are roughly 10-ish feet deep. They're not super deep, but not super shallow either. As you continue to dive down, you get close to the bottom, and what do you do?
She is going to kind of try and position herself a little bit over the hole, and then she's going to flick the coin into the hole, and as it falls, she's going to go 1, 2, 3, and she's going to watch it carefully until it seems to stop or settle, and she'll count that and then try and work out maybe how deep this tunnel is at first.
Okay. Go ahead and just make a perception check for me as you kind of arrive, now having the light at your side to illuminate the area a bit more.
Okay. Then hold that action. Okay. Please don't be my way to be bad. 16.
16 is pretty good. So you can see the hole doesn't just descend like directly downwards. It's more of an angled, kind of rugged, cavernous kind of crater here in the base of this canal. You could toss the coin down still, and it could tumble its way down potentially, but it's not just going to continue to fall down further. Your vision at this point kind of looks down, and it does fade into darkness even beyond what your dark vision can help you, as it kind of angles down into the earth more.
Okay, being from where she is and such like that, can she make a nature or something check to kind of determine, does this look like it's kind of a naturally like collapsed thing? Like maybe this was already here, and because it's storm wake, and stuff like that, maybe something caused a collapse? Or does this possibly look like it has been magically created, or like are the walls smoother than they should be, or like things like that? So
go ahead and make a nature check in this case. I'll say do it at advantage too because of your unique history.
It's okay, good. Give me one. There we go. 21. 7 was the first. Good. 21. Yeah, so there we go.
Okay. With the 21, you can see the rugged kind of nature of this. Definitely does not feel like it was carved by like a humanoid by any means. It is much more naturalistic in its ways. And you do know that Stone Hollow, the month that you currently are in, does see more seismic activity happen. You haven't personally felt an earthquake in this area, but even on your journey, you did feel them here and there. And so it could have happened where this just caved in. You're not sure.
Okay.
But it doesn't look man-made by any means.
All right. Well, she is going to swim up. Okay. The side of the tunnel, it does not look like it was man. It looks like it is natural. So maybe this is because Stormwake, when the earth shakes a little. We felt them on our way here. But also, it doesn't go down very much, but it does seem to curve and go further.
So you're saying an earthquake may have fractured the outer wall?
I think the earthquake maybe did something to fracture whatever the canal bottom or the roadway, whatever season it might be. But yeah, I think that maybe sinkhole, and then it opened up into natural tunnel that was already at the bottom. I'm not sure, but it does not look. In my city, we use a lot of magics to shape the stones that arrive in my city, so we don't have to get rid of them. There's not a lot of us, and it's hard to move big stones, so we use magic to shape them more, and that leaves a certain feeling to the stone. And this looks very natural.
Yes. I'm not particularly skilled at it, but there were many in my home that would also shape stone. And I didn't get as good a look as you, but yeah, it didn't look.
Coin helped. I was going to, if it went deeper, I was going to throw it down to figure out how deep it went before it did whatever else it did.
Did you see how far out it went?
No, I didn't. It's a good 10 feet to the bottom there. I'm very light, so unfortunately sometimes I have to tie things to myself to sink more. So I got as close as I could, and then I tried to kind of pull myself down a bit, but trying to get further down, I mean, I'd say it's maybe a good 15 feet till the curve, including from up here to down there, maybe 15 to 18 feet. And then I don't know how far the part underneath goes. I think if we're going to do something like this, then we're going to need to send maybe one person goes first with maybe rope or something. Swim through.
If the Tidefins came out of there, then we can assume that the tunnel is quite long. At least as far out as the Morbihan Gulf, I would think.
Well, that is...
Yes.
Hold on. She's just gonna kind of look around. Is Gronk still anywhere around?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. 10.
From the kind of lower vantage point of you being in the canal still, you don't catch a glimpse of Gronk anywhere.
Okay.
I don't think that we need to risk our lives in there. I think if we just inform the guard and the Tide chapter, it would be enough.
Well,
You also mentioned that there was a possibility of being able to breathe water or something like that. Drinking a potion. I remember you mentioning it.
Well, the Tidefin blood gets turned into the potions, but they are very expensive, and if we want them, it will... I could only really afford one, maybe two. Oh,
If
no.
you wanted to use some of my share of the coin for something like that, I wouldn't oppose it. I think it could be quite useful if we are going to look into this.
I was including your share of the coins, that we as a group could probably only afford one, maybe two.
Depends if the deal that she offered us is still there. It'll still stand and she'll still honor it.
Because she said 200 gold, right?
I'm trying to remember. I think she wanted to give us 2 for both of the Tidefins, plus the few extra bits and bobs that we had to sell.
Yes, she wanted to give us 2 potions for everything, and which, when we decided to take the money, she gave us, what was it, 40 platinum?
Correct. It's
Yeah.
about 100 gold apiece. I'll have to say my curiosity's piqued.
So that is a trader that can get the potions, you mean?
No, it was the alchemist. I think the name was Zalindra? The veiled alchemist.
And wouldn't this person be interested in the city being safe from these creatures or whatnot?
To be fair, she'd probably be more interested in more of them for more stock. At least that's what I gathered.
Well, we have a good chance of running into more. Perhaps if we make guard here, we post someone here.
I mean, how long do you think this hole has been here? And do you think that it would really have more come in?
Well, one would think it's been here just under a year, because did Ground not say that when the amber season comes, the canal disappears and these all become roadways? You would think that the person who owns that storehouse or that house there, or she just starts pointing out the different things along the way, they would have noticed the big hole.
I'd be interested in going down to look for clues. Even if we could see a direction where it might be, we could possibly figure out where the mouth of it may be out in the Gulf. But if there's any clues to be found, that's where they're going to be.
True.
I would like to know a little bit about the maybe geography of this area. Are underwater caves very normal underneath the city? Is this not normal? I'd like to ask some questions on land as well before we just, I don't know, jump down and become... I'd find secret Tidefin breeding area and suddenly snacks for their children.
Agreed.
I like snacks, but I don't want to be a snack.
We could probably all use a rest before we go down into any dangerous sort of holes like that, if we're very honest.
Yes, also, do we want to tell the storm wardens about this thing that we just found?
I would, yes.
Do we want to tell Captain as well?
Of course.
I don't see why we would hide things from them. They're the ones that are asking.
And both parties were kind enough to share information with us. I think it's only fair trade to return to them with information that we found.
The downward sentinels were the ones that originally wanted us on these quests, so we should definitely...
We could get to it before we go down. Inform them. Maybe they can put some guards here.
I would agree with that. And perhaps we get some rest and we decide in the morning if we're going to go down ourselves or let someone else handle it. Like I said, my curiosity's peaked.
There are also the other tasks that we were asked to do with the Pyroscales and the Leviathans and looking into the Khazdurim. So...
I know you are not going to like me saying this, Rhukka, but I feel that this tunnel might have something to do with Khazdurims. Maybe not them directly, but I have feeling that this and the other one might be connected, and I'd much rather swim the tunnel than go after Leviathans or go back to fight more Pyroscales.
My curiosity is, were these tunnels, or was this tunnel used by the Khazdurim to stage this attack? And were they able to leverage that in order to get these into the city? Or did these just kind of come into the city on their own?
Well, I am not 100% saying Khazdurim did this whole. There are many things right now in the city that make it seem, I don't know. Maybe it is Khazdurim, maybe it is somebody in boat race who wants to really, make problem and something like that. But then you would wonder, why would they not just release Tidefins on the day of the boat race? But still, it could be many things. I am trying very hard to not.
You just said
perhaps you should get out of the water
cave
before another Tidefin comes out of the hole.
That is good
and
point.
just right then, a Tidefin. No, I'm just kidding.
I would like to roll to attack the DM.
No,
Rhukkarrak will go ahead and climb out of the water and start drying off a bit as they continue to
What
talk.
did I just say? Apparently, what did I just say? You were trying to say, Rhukka. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you just told us that it looked natural. That it would I don't see
Yes,
how
you
it would
also
be a direct
mentioned,
correlation if it was a natural thing. I guess there is
Didn't
a
you
small
mention
chance that they
earthquakes?
found it first. Huh? What did you say, Mel?
Yes, I did mention earthquakes, but at the same time, there are a lot of things in this city that could point to things, and there is no reason to say why Khazdurim could not have made tunnels somewhere else that led to natural tunnels that are already underneath city. This is why I was wanting to find out, are there different underwater, like, is this city built on maybe, you know, underwater or under caves or on top of caves that have now flooded? I don't know. Like, this is why I wanted to find out, is because then maybe we can then, instead of trying to focus on many different options, at that point we go, okay, this one actually makes more sense. Maybe we look into this one. I am trying, I'm trying, okay? I want to say that this is all Khazdurim's fault, but I am also trying to not. She just,
I think-
you
We did
just
see
see her
some
kind of
caves at
squeezing
the
her hands
Tidefins
really
sanctuary.
tightly at her sides as well.
Ewan
Tell
will
that
reach
this is
over.
really hard for her to be even nice about this whole thing.
Ewan will reach over and give her a little head pat. You're doing fine, little one. I, however, do
right.
think it's a good plan. I think we should ask questions, see if we can find any maps of the city, see if there's any sort of documentation that says that these tunnels might be under here, or if this was a natural occurrence. I think it's a good plan.
Maybe, again, this was just a test. Maybe there are more big Tidefins, and maybe those maybe there are more underwater tunnels that do come out closer to that boat place for the boat races. And maybe this was just a test. Oh, will this actually work? I don't know if this will actually work. Let's give it a test on normal people. Okay, now it's been done on normal people. What if maybe on day of boat race there's more than 4 Tidefins? What if there is more Tidefins? What if somehow somebody is using the magics to draw in the Tidefins? Maybe this was just a test. I don't know. But again, this could just be, oh, my name is Bobby and I sail this boat and I want to win this year, so I am going to make it very hard for everybody else. We don't
This
know.
is a lot
or...
of maybes.
Right.
us
That's why I
get
want to
to-
ask questions.
Yes.
Around this time, and those of you that are out of the water, which I think is all of you now, you see the 2 storm wardens that you previously met starting to make their rounds again, just down towards the main canal off this canal.
Oh, Gronk.
You kind of get their attention and they start walking towards you.
We have discovered.
You able to find anything?
Yes, we've discovered a hole in the water here.
A hole, you say? Now that's quite peculiar. Kind of quickly looks over the water and starts taking various different notes in his little journal there. Now, when did that end up arriving? That's my question here. Huh. Just see how far
know.
down it
Had to
went.
From top of canal to where it starts to curve, probably 15 to 18 feet. And then there is curve and seem to go straight from there.
And it just
But-
keeps going down. Curious.
Down or straight.
We
Do
would
you
probably
know
need
if-
water breathing potions in order to follow it properly.
Or even if
Right.
we could just find person who can do, we can ask. Maybe spell is cheaper than potion. Who knows?
Well, it did say we could find basically anything here in the market.
Anything?
Well, yes. Elendor's markets are quite a lot. This is unprecedented, though. I don't think we've ever had a hole in a canal before.
Well, one would think it would happen after last Embervale, because one would think with you saying that these are roads, you would notice a big hole in your road. So have there been any big
Right.
shakes lately?
I mean, here and there you have the earthquake of Stone Hollow, but nothing crazy. Usually it doesn't affect us very much. Did it look carved at all?
No, it looked natural. Pardon me. A little bit of water in my throat, sorry. It looked natural to me. It did not look like it was man-made or magic-made. But maybe it was good disguise, I don't know.
Quite intriguing indeed. Adds to the mystery. Well, I could get some people out here to take a look at this a little more if you want. Were you all planning on doing so yourselves, though?
I don't think we have the resources, but we were potentially looking at getting them.
But
I see.
we would suggest maybe you put somebody to watch Hull in case something else comes out of Hull.
That's probably a good idea, isn't it? Here, you'd watch this. Nudges the other Stormwarden right next to him. And we'll stay around in this area here. Maybe call in some reinforcements too, just to make sure. Because if more of those nasty old Tidefins come out of the waters, it ain't gonna be pretty.
No, it was not pretty first time. I don't think it will be pretty second time.
I would agree. The captain got a nice chunk taken out of them, so hate to see that happen to anyone else.
Right. Have you informed the captain yet?
We have not.
yet.
Were you planning on doing so?
Yes, that was probably our next stop.
I see. She might be able to help out with the whole breathing of the waters and whatnot. I know there's all manner of different sentinels that do all manner of different things. Sure, one of them has that ability at least.
Yes, actually, that is a very good point.
If not, we could probably get the city to fork over some coin to whatnot potion makers. Get a task force down there. But that'll take time. It's one thing you guys have that I kind of envy. Just being able to do what you want. So bound by rules and jurisdictions.
Yes, we will let you know. We'll first try to look into it, and we'll let you know if we can't take care of it, and hopefully the city can look into it.
I
Asja was
appreciate
also
that.
suggesting that there might be other holes or tunnels that may bring Tidefin to the city during the race. Since that may be a possibility, I would suggest that you inspect the canals and the walls very closely before it. It would be quite a disaster if something happened then.
Right, yeah, that would be quite the no bueno. Right, let me go get another patrol here and get a task force to go search the canals. It's gonna be a little difficult as, man, I wish it was Emberville right now. I usually don't say that. But we'll get on it.
We will also inform the captain, as we said. Perhaps she can help with her men.
Sounds like a plan.
I wouldn't count on it. She was already telling us she's spread thin, but she may be able to help us with some resources or water breathing. Anyways, good luck
Supplies
with
would
that,
be
detective.
a wonderful aid even over people right now, or even just like Asya suggested, a spell being cast so we can breathe underwater.
Yes, let's go check with her.
Alright, so you guys depart from that initial spot where you found this shadowed entrance of a tunnel and start making your way back towards the Tide Chapter. which is only a brief walk away, a couple 100 feet, nothing too far. You eventually do arrive at the Tide chapter with its grandiose kind of bastion, almost like structure. You enter in, and similarly, it's still pretty quiet in the room as the day has still gone on. Not much more activity has arisen here within the Tide chapter's halls. A moment later, the captain does come to greet you once again.
So you've returned. That didn't take too long. You already figured out where they came from. Good news?
We found a hole in the canal.
That's odd. What? Elaborate. What do you mean?
He's going to stumble a little bit before taking a little bit of a step back, sort of behind Asja. Go ahead.
There was... So, we went to Dead End. Rhukka and I went into the water to take a look at the bottom, like on the walls and stuff, to see if there was any damage. And instead we found a very large hole in the wall and bottom of the canal there that seemed to go down an extra maybe 5 to 8 feet before straightening out into another tunnel. Before you ask, it did look natural to me, but that does not mean that maybe somebody not trying to disguise something man-made. Definitely, probably not magic-made, just because magic generally makes it look very neat and polished, but this still looked very natural.
That is very odd.
Stormway, or stone, yes.
Stone Hollow?
Stone Hollow. Sorry, I get seasons mixed up.
Yes,
But-
it is very confusing.
Yeah,
It is.
Earthquakes, but we don't usually get too much affected by them.
That is what the Storm Warden said that we met before.
And
Yes,
if
we wanted to go and investigate further, but I don't know about anybody else. I'm not a very strong swimmer. Not very good. We're wondering if you had some way to get us some sort of water breathing. Asja suggested it might be a spell for this.
there's a couple different options. I mean, you've already met, well, at least if you took the Tidefins to the Veiled Crucible, they usually give out potions, but they are on the pricey side. Having all of you go down there would be expensive. I wish,
She kind of looks puzzled for a moment as she kind of is just thinking before.
Oh, you know, that just might work. It might take a few strings being pulled, but I have some authority. Yeah, we can do this. I know that one of the teams that races is sometimes they do on off seasons where the races aren't as big. Do work here on the Tide chapter here and there for some extra coin and more reputation. But I believe one of them is able to cast such a spell that is able to make a decent amount of people breathe the waters similar like air. We could potentially go over. They're probably at the Tideway Arena, seeing as the race is in a day or two now. We could probably go question if they could supply such a thing. I wish I had. I usually have other people to do such things as well here that are more permanent individuals. But you've already heard me spiel about this.
Yes. I think that is we should definitely try.
Let's do it then. I mean, as long as you are all okay going down into a mysterious tunnel that leads into the water, I'm not exactly sure what could reside inside. It might be dangerous, especially if Tidefins emerged from it.
My curiosity's piqued, I'll say that. I said that a
How-
few times.
This is
Just
nice.
how long does this water breathing work?
Well, usually
for you?
it's usually the magic itself that isn't distilled from the Tidefin blood is a bit more potent. It lasts longer than a potion usually would.
Then why would it be more expensive? Whatever. Anyway,
It's not
Let
the
us,
easiest spell to learn.
well, I don't know that much about magic, so I will just have to take word for it.
I know
Very
that
well.
back in my city there are one or two that can do it, but they mostly deal with our water maintenance because they can do it. So,
But no, this is quite disturbing. If there is a tunnel that leads from outside the walls into the city, imagine if the
Yes.
Khazdurim knew.
I will show you where the tunnel is in the map of the city. And I'll take out my map. And I'll also tell the captain, I know that you don't have many men at your disposal right now, but looking around the walls and finding perhaps other weaknesses in them, maybe other tunnels, might be something that you want to do.
I know that the Storm Wardens have been on high alert as well since the Khazdurim arrived to try to find such things. At least with the walls themselves, they were not looking on the canals, though. It's strange. The city
Well-
is quite well built, but I guess things do decay after so long.
well,
Do
this
you know if
is
there's
question
natural
that I
tunnels underneath?
had was, is there? Never mind. He asked.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to relay what you were talking about earlier.
I mean, the desert shade has all manner of caverns and waterways that go all through it, so it's possible. I haven't heard of any that are this close to the city, though.
So there are no known natural. Okay.
Not that comes to my mind, no.
Then you might have. And she switches to Elvin for a moment and whispers, "Be nice, be nice, be nice, be nice. Remember, Grandma always said if you have nothing, just be nice. Maybe you do have small tunneling problem of Khazdurim under your city. Remember, they have different habits than we do. And they enjoy, as far as I know, the ground more than
Right, they
we
are
do.
definitely the creatures of the earth. I'm thinking more and more this is connected somehow. I just don't think we know all the answers yet. Let's go to the Tideway right now. We should not waste any more time. She starts marching towards the door.
Yeah, Rhukkarrak rolled his eyes at Ozzy's comment. And then, but he follows. Because he wants to figure out, too, where this leads.
As they're walking, Maldorwen is gonna turn to the captain and he's gonna tell her, excuse me, Captain. I don't mean to pry too much, but it seems like you're a seasoned warrior. Did you fight in the Battle of the Weeping Woods?
No, I was not in that battle itself. But I did fight in different battles from the Ember Wall.
Your face is just so familiar.
I have fought beside Khazdurim before. It's possible. What was this battle? What did it entail?
Oh, the Battle of the Whipping Woods.
Yes.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, I was not there.
Perhaps tale for another time, whenever you want to come to the Flame and Flagon and sit down for a drink.
If I can ever get a day off, it sounds like a nice time. We are going to need to get a ferry. She kind of waves to one of the ferrymen that are currently just arcing their way past as they kind of wave back and slowly start to bring the boat closer to the tide chapter there. And it docks down, big enough for you all. The captain throws the individual some coin as you kind of all climb aboard and then push off from the tide chapter there and heading just south towards the Tideway Arena. These boat races are quite interesting people. I mean, the races themselves are quite entertaining to watch. And if you are still in the city or about, I do recommend watching it. It's quite the enthusiastic display that they portray. But it does get to their head a little bit. Especially the people we are going to see. They're known as the Tide Chasers. I'm sure if you did not know that, they would be offended. They're kind of well known here in the city. They're the champions, more or less. They have been for the past couple of years. One of their members is able to cast a spell, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's a good lead.
As you get closer to the Tideway Arena, closer than previously before, when Aetherian just kind of brought you around, showing you the city. You can see the large kind of statue in the middle that kind of makes up a large kind of circular raceway with different bleachers sorts that are kind of surrounding it that you can imagine would be completely filled with just a roaring crowd in a few days here. And you do still see a couple boats that are currently breakneck speeds, kind of sending ripples through the waters as they kind of quickly make turns and adjustments to the sails itself, and practicing for the race to come. Eventually you dock on the actual larger kind of middle island there, where the statue's in the middle of it.
Let me go talk to some people. I'll be right back. We should be able to get them. Hopefully, I'm not too busy practicing, but they can actually hearken a little bit of my words.
How deep is the water around here?
Are you asking me or the captain?
Either one.
We'll say the captain.
Well, we are probably in the Gulf now. It is not super shallow.
I don't know the exact measurements. Not incredibly deep either. But the further you go out, the further it deepens. This part of the city remains afloat the entire season, the entire year. So even when the waters do recede, it is still the Gulf here.
Understood.
Are you thinking there might be holes down there as well?
I don't think it would hurt to look. Better to be safe than sorry, and if we're trying to get to the bottom of this, then I think a look is in order.
Hmm.
So get to the bottom to get to the bottom?
Exactly.
If it was a malicious, I'm sure that the two tunnels, if there are any tunnels here, they would be connected to the entrance that we found. So, if we enter there, it would, and if there are any tunnels here, if it was intentional, I would imagine that we would find our way here as well.
Right. I will have to inform the Storm Wardens of all this as well. It is more of their duty to protect the city like this.
Detective Gronk?
Oh?
He knows already. He was at the dead end because he told me I was not supposed to be swimming in the canal.
I see. Yeah, interesting fellow. So, he knows of the hole and everything?
They have the guard watching the hole right now in case more Tidefins come out. We thought maybe it was a good idea that somebody
That
was watching
is
holes
good
so
idea.
more fish did not come out. You know,
Very good.
save people's lives.
Well, I will also confirm with them that this is an urgent problem. Let me go grab them.
As you're all kind of left just kind of sitting here, you watch one of the boats fly by. The little bit of kind of wind kind of batters you for a moment. And yeah, you're just all kind of sitting there on this main kind of dock area. It isn't land. Like, this is like a floating, more or less, like, dock that has been established here. It does look pretty stable. Like, it's not like swaying a ton. It's large enough that it's not, but you're not on solid ground currently.
I think because it's new, Asja is just going to be very much watching the boats, and when they go flying by and there's a wind, she'll just kind of giggle and clap her hands a little, and then look at you and now is good. Now is an okay time, and then just kind of giggle and clap her hands again, and she just seems to be getting enjoyment out of watching this new thing, and then pulling out her book occasionally and writing down a few notes and then stuff like that.
Euan will pull out his pipe, pack the bowl, light it, take a long puff off of it, and we'll turn to Rhukkarrak and Maldorwen as the smoke kind of trails out of his nostrils. So, what are your thoughts on all of this, now with the extra information we've gotten?
Well, I don't think we have much information, and we need to get it.
That said, there is something that I would like to talk about, if you don't mind, Dentes.
No, I don't mind.
Well, you see, my understanding is that somehow you came from the Sunspire Dominion, even though I didn't know exactly where from. But it seems like you are definitely not from here. Because if you traded with the Khazdurim before, I'm pretty sure then you have to come from somewhere else. Am I right?
Yes, as we were talking, I'm from the Stormbreaker Peaks, way to the north.
Okay, yes, I see.
Well,
Rhukkarrak, you might not understand why the suspicion of the Khazdurim is so strong here. But for the most part, there really hasn't been any other reason for them to come. Now that I see this city more closely, I understand that the markets may be something that draw them in. As you said, you traded with them before, right?
Yes.
So they're interested in trade.
As are most people. In order to offload something that you make easily to get something you do not able to make easily, which is very important.
Yes, but what Mal is trying to say is that for many of us, when the Khazdurim showed up at our cities, it was not for trade. It was to destroy our cities and take very, very sacred objects from us. And slaughter everyone.
And on that, would I know if Elendor has like a primal element?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check for me.
Okay. History.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You know that it does. You're not exactly sure which one it has though. It's like just in the back of your mind you're like, what was it again? I can't remember.
Much like your people, they may be in danger of losing their elemental. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? I think they had.
Yes.
It had something to do with Tideswell. I don't remember.
And I am not saying that they are not. They're definitely not here for some sort of nefarious reason. They may be. Over the last 2 years of traveling away from home, I have, well, even before, I know that they're very dangerous people, but you all seem to automatically say that they are here to kill and destroy when we know nothing about them.
That is the natural way of Aruthar, Dentes. That is the way of the conflict. It is how it has always been, and it is how it always will be. This peace, this stillness, it is all something fleeting. It will not remain like this, Dentes. You and I have already bled during conflict together, more than once. So, as far as I'm concerned, you're almost a Kertusi. You already have a Kertusi name to me. So I just wanna know that if blades turn our way, your blade is gonna be at my side.
If there are any blades turned your way, my blade will most certainly be next to yours. But I am just not sure that it is going to happen. It's all that I'm saying. We shall see. Maybe it is. But yeah,
But at the same time, also might be somebody just using the fact that they know that they're here, and somebody else is maybe trying to make it look like them. I still don't believe that very much, but is small percentage chance.
Around this time, the captain returns.
They're all practicing, but they managed to at least get them to come over for a moment. Get ready, they're quite the people.
As you can then hear the movement of the water as you see one of the boats kind of rushes up towards you, then the sail quickly shifts as the boat itself starts to spin and almost starts to spin out, but in a very controlled way. It then quickly spins towards you all before slowly very quickly losing its momentum as they're spinning, as the people on board are just like cheering as it like bumps right up to the dock there. The loud kind of clatter as they all kind of shake off like some water that has sprayed up from them before one elven figure kind of steps off the boat there. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Captain, good to see ya. What do we owe this pleasure?
Well, we might need some of your help. There's some dire things in the city other than your race that is coming up.
But the race is gotta be so good. But we're willing to help. What do you all need? Sorry, let me do some introductions first. You all are new faces, some colorful faces at that. I like to see. Well, most of you kind of stares at Rhukkarrak. Most of y'all are very colorful. The name's Kaelin, but you can call me the Wave Caller. You see in front of you, kind of a definitely taller elf, quite the stature. Clothes are like elegant, but in very form-fitting and very kind of athletic way. As he kind of steps out towards you all and kind of starts to shake your hands. We're the Tide Chasers, champions of the races here. I'm sure you've heard of us, right? Right?
Yes, actually, we have.
Glad to meet some fellow fans. So what's it that brings you here? Other than to meet us, of course.
The Tidefins and the canals.
The Tidefins and the what?
Canals.
Oh, big giant Tidefins come out of hole in wall of canal, and we were going to go down tunnel, and we were wondering if you had maybe somebody who could help with, making it that we could breathe under the water, so we could go and make sure that no more Tidefins come out of the walls of the canals, or even, say this. What did you call it again, Captain? Gulf? This part.
Yes, the Gulf. That's correct. The Malvian Gulf. There were Tidefins that appeared in the city. These individuals helped quite substantially in removing the threat they brought, and then locating a hole that descended into one of the canals itself. We were hoping to make use of some of your skills to, well, allow them to breathe under the water so we can investigate it further.
After all, and will kind of point with his pipe at the tide caller, wave runner, whatever he was, whatever the title was. Besides, I'd hate to see your race get called off on behalf of some bad things happening in the city. I'd rather take care of it so you can win your race.
Right,
We heard it is the last big race of season, so you would want to be number one, right?
Well, of course. We're gonna be number one. Which, and if you heard of this, kind of talks back to the crew. Which now you can see there's a total of 5 of them there. There's the elf who's kind of talking to you. The other 4 have kind of stayed back on the ship, kind of tying it down and whatnot. Most of them are elves. One of them is a red Drakthir, and one of them is a gnome, or much shorter individual. And have you heard of this? As another one of the elves, feminine, kind of crazy fire red hair, kind of puzzled.
I was telling you about what this was. You weren't listening, though.
Right, that's interesting. That's quite the dilemma. Tidefins in the canals. Yeah, that would be very bad for our race, for sure. But you all are able to defeat them. That's good. You do look quite capable. You know what? I could actually... You all are new to the city, right? I haven't seen you before. I would have recognized your faces before. You're new to the city, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's
Same
perfect.
Here.
Perfect to hear. Yes, I like this. I'll definitely help you out. On one condition, though.
You guys help us out, right? We can shake each other's hands, pat each other on the backs, right? Now, you see, Galehawks, they're terrible. Our main rivals, if you didn't know. And I guarantee they were behind this, 100%, right? That's probably not the case. They're behind it. They always do stuff like this. Maybe not this degree, but they're stepping up. They're trying to win this year. I can tell. I just don't know exactly how. But Tidefins in the canals. Ooh, that's dirty. That's not good at all. Right. So, here's what I'm getting at. I'll help you out with this. You'll be able to breathe water just like the air you're breathing now. Quite a nifty little trick I can do. Make sure if any of us do get thrown overboard, we don't have to worry. But in doing so, could you guys go buddy up to the Galehawks a bit? See what they're planning? They gotta be planning something. I've heard rumors. But I need to know what so we can be prepared for it coming the next couple days here when we actually do take them on the race.
You suspect that they are going to do something underhanded? Something
Oh, they
bad?
always do. Always do. They're scum. Yeah.
Rhukkarrak is going to kind of look at the captain to see her reaction to this. See if you can figure out.
He's just got like a hand on her forehead and just is like rubbing her temples.
I think that
So
I
you-
will find other way to maybe water breathe. I cannot help you with this. I am sorry. No. That is no.
Well, I think we would love to help you if they are doing something illegal. But if you want us to spy, it would seem that you do not want a fair fight?
No, I do want a fair fight. That's the whole point. They're never fair. But if you can, and not necessarily spy, just go over and, I don't know, talk with them. Get them to lose their tongue a bit. I mean, if we do so, they're not going to say anything. But if you guys kind of buddy up with them, just listen to what they have to say. They're quite prideful. And they'll spill what secrets they got. And I'm pretty sure this is all connected. If there's Tidefins, they gotta be the ones behind it.
I am interested in meeting more teams, but I cannot guarantee anything. And if you don't offer your abilities, we may not be able to fix the problem before the race.
You see, that's where your theory doesn't hold water. What would they benefit from if the race doesn't take place?
Got a point there. Rhukkarrak, go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me. We'll say, yeah, with Maldorwen's comment, go ahead and do it at advantage.
The 12.
12, not bad. Yeah, if the race doesn't happen, that's the worst case scenario. I don't think they would want the race to stop. Tidefins
We are
in
just
the
trying to help.
canals. Let's see this. I'll give you this ability. And I'll do it right now, even. But you guys aren't willing to help me at all? Like, even after you go look into this, like, you can even spend the next day looking into it. As long as you just, I don't know, figure out at least somewhat of what they're going to be doing. Like, if they are connected to this, it would be nice to know.
Oh, if they are connected to this, we will most certainly try to find out.
That's what I like
We
to
will
hear.
also cheer for you during the race. How about that?
Okay.
You can't.
I am sorry.
Go ahead.
I am new to the area. I want to know. And she's going to get up and walk over to him. And in a little bit of a lower tone, just in case there's other people around. So, your teams. Are you sponsored by people? And if so, are the Gale Hawks sponsored by anybody?
Well, yes, we have all kinds of sponsors.
Okay. Do Gale Hawks maybe have somebody from council sponsoring them?
Perhaps. What? Why? Where'd this come from?
Nothing. Don't you worry, pretty little head, about this. You worry about winning boat race. And she pats him on the shoulder. Reaches
I don't
up
need
and
to
pats him
worry
on the
about
shoulder.
winning the boat race. It's gonna happen. We've already been champions for 3 years in a row now.
Then you shouldn't worry about your opponents.
You see,
Be
that's the thing,
confident of
though.
your skills.
Every time we win, it seems like the next year they get more and more schemy, more dirty with their plans. Maybe this is just their next thing. Bring Tidefins to the canals. That's something that might just do it if we start the race up and have to run through Tidefins.
Or maybe their plan was to do nothing this year and just rely on the fact that you're going to be paranoid, like you are right
nothing. Oh, you don't know the Galehawks at all.
now.
They're
No, I
definitely
don't.
got something.
I'm
Well, here,
sorry.
Just
not to
promise
lie,
me
I
this.
don't even know much about you and your ship. I only learned about you a few minutes ago. I don't come from anywhere near water.
What? How did you just learn about us? Oh, that's right. You're new to the city. You haven't heard of us?
I'm sorry, I don't come near water. There is a desert.
We did hear from you, from the captain.
And they spoke very highly of you, so I am very interested in seeing. The boats are very interesting. I like how they fly in the water.
Yes, I'm excited for the race. That's why we
Right?
want to solve this problem.
You guys
you
don't
can
know
feel
about
the
us. Look,
wind.
I'll give you a proper introduction to the Tide Chasers. Starts stepping back and... Oh, you already know me. I'm Caleb, the Wave Caller Ferris. So that's me right here. I'm the captain of here, the Storm Surge. It's our nice little boat, and you can see it's elegantly crafted. You got the Storm Surge in text kind of written across it. This is Flarefin, or Ray, as he points to the fiery-headed elf there. Right up there, there's Bruck, and as they're doing they're like waving. Bruck Ironwick over here. You know, like large kind of firejack there. He's our boatswain. Nice fellow there. Nissa Quickwisk. Nissa kind of sends up the smaller, gnomish individual. Kind of waves. And then we got Devin, the deep fin they call him. He's like, whatever. And we're the Tide Chasers. Surprised you guys haven't heard about us. Where y'all from? As the captain kind of pipes in. This is not accomplishing anything. Just, can you cast a spell or not? Oh, Captain, you're no fun. Alright, I'll do it for you all. You all seem like interesting individuals. I'd like to know you more, though. We'll have
You've made the correct choice.
I'll have to maybe sit down for a drink later on. Interesting faces I see here. But one thing, if you're not going to look into it, at least have it in the back of your mind. I'm sure the Galehawks are somehow involved. If they didn't do it do this, they're going to do something else. And maybe it's going to be even more dangerous. I'm fine with the risks that are brought to my team. We can handle them. No doubt. But, I mean, they've been stepping up their game every year. Now if they're doing Tidefins, that concerns the public. We can't be having that, right? Kind of gives the captain a wink. She just shakes her head. All right.
Our goal is to find whoever is responsible for this. And if it is them, then we will find out.
Good to know.
Well, gather around. He starts kind of shaking
Wait,
or rubbing his hands together.
Wait. Um, how long does this last for?
I'll last you the whole day.
She turns to Euan. You wanted to rest first because you were hurt with Tidefins. Are you ready to go now? Because he's going to do now.
I can go now. I just need to stop by the inn to drop off a few things.
Okay, well, we have whole day anyways. So as long as we don't get lost in underwater caves, we should be fine. Okay, let's do it. Sorry, didn't mean to stop you, but...
No, good point. As he starts rubbing his hands together and doing some chanting underneath his breath, you can see some of the nearby water kind of pulls up towards him as he kind of shapes it in his hands around and then goes over and kind of puts a bead of water on each of your foreheads as he does so, and then kind of says a final chant, and the water kind of seeps into your pores. Feels kind of strange for a moment. You get a cool sensation that just kind of rushes through your body as the spell was cast on you. Now, if you haven't breathed water before, it is quite the odd experience to begin with. It almost feels like drowning, but as long as you just take a deep breath while you're under the water and allow it to fill up your lungs there, you'll be able to be fine. Oh, shoot, look at that time. We gotta continue practice. The race is in 2 days. Guys, get this boat just back out there. We just got it. More, far! As he rushes back over and jumps on, as they quickly untouch it.
If you want to do drink and talk. Bye.
Love that place! As they then quickly, you can see he starts to shift the water more as pushes off the boat as it quickly accelerates and starts to move across. I do not like those people.
I can see why. I think I have a headache from that. Not from the spell, either from him.
I thought he was very nice.
It is interesting that he thinks so much conviction that the Gaelhawks have something to do with this. I would be incredibly surprised, oh my goodness, if that was the case. I mean, they usually do different tricks and whatnot on the waters that I know of. I don't know, something to look more into as well while you're down there, I guess. Let's get out of here.
Okay, let's go.
As you get on the same boat that took you here and slowly start making your way back towards where the Tide chapter is. As you kind of make your way back, is there anything else you guys want to do, or are you just heading directly towards the spot where this hole was found?
I mean, I still want to stop by the Flaming Flagon quick. I'd like to drop off a few things, maybe grab a bite to eat, take a short rest. Because I'm hurt, but I'm not that hurt, and I can maybe use some hit dice or something with a healer's kit in order to try to patch myself up a little bit before we head into the water.
Yeah, I think short rest will be great.
Yep, it would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Being
So you
able
kind
to
of
meditate and get a spell slot back would be wonderful. So
inform the captain that you're going to stop by there first. She kind of nods and has the ferryman drop her off back at the Tide chapter, kind of wishes you all well and good luck and don't die. As you then are taken back towards the Flaming Flagon, have a quick short rest. You're able to go whoop. As you enter back in, the place is starting to get a little more rowdy as the night is slowly starting to come to a beginning here. There we go. as Lennon kind of sees you all enter again, kind of waves a hand. Welcome back. Any drinks for you all?
Just some tea for me.
Yes, I think I need a nice clear head. But thank you. And Rhukkarrak's just gonna kind of Rhukkarrak's gonna sit in a kind of a corner and check up on his wounds. Make sure he's bandaged properly. Use the medical kit he bought.
Okay. So with this short rest, this is the first time we're doing a short rest. You can, if you have a healer's kit, you can use a charge of that to roll one of your hit dices for a short rest. And you can roll half your level, round it down. So in this case, it's just one.
I don't think healer's kits. Do they natively have charges?
Yes, they have 10 charges.
Yes, they have 10.
Huh.
So I get back 7,
Very nice.
which puts me back up to full health. So
And then, Yuan, are you using your own healer's kit or?
yeah, I'm using my own healer's kit.
'Kay.
I believe I have one. Check my inventory.
Oh yeah, and while this is happening, Maldorwen is gonna turn to Asja, and he's going to say, "Oh, by the way, you can keep the coin. I know that you like buying snacks."
Oh, I forgot. It's okay. Hold on. I have to see how long light lasts.
I think
It's fine. Yeah, it's out now. It's out now. Here you go. I have
You sure
lots.
you don't want it?
No, I have
Okay.
enough.
I'll take it back. I'll take the coin
I just
back.
want to make sure that I have enough for journey because I am finding that
Alright.
outside of my city things cost money, a lot of money, and I still have a far distance after this I feel to travel, so I think money is going to be important.
Asja, I have a question.
I might have an answer.
The healing thing that you did on the captain, or not the guard, earlier today. Do you need to touch people in order to do that?
Yes, unfortunately, all of my healing is very much touching.
Can you do it through clothing?
I would think so, but yeah, I would think so. I have never tried through clothing, to be honest. When I usually do it, it's most people show up in my city and they're not in very good shape, so I have to get in and actually cut the clothing to clean out the wound first and then see how I could try through clothing.
I'm pretty good at cleaning my own wounds, but I don't like to be touched. It is okay if it is through the clothing, but just
Well, we will try then through the clothing the next time. How about that?
okay. I have reacted poorly in the past and cut off someone's finger after they touched me. So just
I can heal you with my crossbow. I just have to shot you first.
Ouch.
he's just gonna look at you like, what?
That seems like the opposite of any sort of normal help.
And he's just laughing.
That sounds very painful.
Just take your mind off
Let's
that pain. Just
not
have a
try
crossbow
that.
bolt.
Let's not try that. I do not think that would work. Anyway, I will try to. just yeah.
I will
I would
try
appreciate
through
it.
clothing. No problem. I will try through clothing. No problem.
You seem like a nice person that I would hate to have to, well, not have to, I would hate to accidentally harm you.
You would have to go through me first. That's not happening, lad.
And him, she points at Rupert. I know he looks small, but he's fun. He has his own tricks. Anyways,
He
I need
needs
to
a
pay for
weapon,
my
though.
room. Oh, he has his own. Don't encourage him.
Rupert kind of
Please.
jumps off your shoulder and kind of runs over to Rhukkarrak and just kind of gives him a mean side eye for a moment. Sticks out his little tongue in your general direction. Curiosity
I
kind of peaked.
immediately knew what that looked like.
Then he kind of slowly turns around and just almost like a "I've got my eye on you," and slowly jumps back onto Asja.
Don't
Oh,
antagonize the lizard. He has powers, I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm very afraid now.
His
You
bite
should
is worse
be.
than his bark.
Rupert just opens his mouth. Nah.
Anyways, I need to
I've-
go pay for my room for at least 2 more nights, I would assume. So I'm going to go pay for it. Does anyone else need their room paid for?
I already
I
paid for
need
a
my
couple
room
nights.
paid for. As well. If you don't mind, Asja.
No, I will pay for your room. No problems.
Let me know how much it is. I will give you the gold.
As far as I remember, it was 3 silver per night or 6 silver if we wanted the spa added in.
Right. This is
Mal will
Ye-
probably give you like a gold piece then.
Euan will hand you another 12 silver for 2 more nights at the spa.
Okay.
The hot water really helped my aches and pains, alright?
I am not complaining.
We've heard
Right.
over and over that you can buy anything here in this city, so perhaps we can find a weapon for Rupert.
Oh, please don't encourage him. Oh, gosh. She just gets up and looks very, very worried.
It sounds like he doesn't even need a weapon.
Rupert will be the one to kill us all.
What are you talking
Fear
about?
him?
All warriors need weapons.
He's just a little lizard. He does not need to be warrior. He's already very, very fond of Euan because... Sorry, but, you know, he looks up to him.
Little one, most people look up to me at this point.
Yes, I also
Physically.
feel the same.
Did that one work? Did that one work as a joke?
That did work as joke. I'm so
Excellent.
proud of
I'm
you.
learning. Slowly
You
but
are
surely
learning.
I'm learning.
Much better than when I first met you about a year ago. Oh, you did not have sense of humor back then. And she's gonna walk over to Lennon.
and then he kind of finishes pouring a drink for someone else and slides it to them. Oh, well, hello there. Anything I can help you with?
Yes, I need to pay for the Euan, the big tractier, and for Maldorwen, the
Maldorwen.
Cartosino, and for
Oh.
my room for 2 more nights. We might as well do spa package for everyone, so 12, and 12. 30. Much silvers,
Hand over
you said.
3 gold and 6 silver.
Yes.
Or 3 gold and 2 silver. As he kind of skips it up. Very well. Kind of hands you a couple tickets to the Sulphur Springs bathhouse.
Thank you.
Very nice. You're very welcome.
Right. Yep. And she just walks off. And she'll walk back and hand Maldorwen and Euan a 2-day pass to the spa.
Has little
Figure
punch
maybe
cards
we will
on it.
be chilly when we get back from being underwater for so long, and I'm not sure the two of you really like water is that much, so soaking in hot water afterwards might be good.
I mean, soaking in hot water anytime is good, but I agree. Reward for a job well done.
Anyways, I'm going to go put some things that are in my bag away because I don't think... Well, everything's going to get wet and I don't really have waterproof bags, so maybe I should leave my books and everything here. Or else they'll be very wet. Oh, I have to find a way to pack snacks though. And she's going to walk away wondering how she's going to pack snacks in a waterproof bag.
So, Fortis,
Aye.
have you been in the battlefield? And I mean, the proper battlefield.
He'll think for a moment. Give a slight nod. Aye, my home was once a part of the Ashen Expanse.
I am sorry, my friend.
There's not much left there now, but I've seen my fair share. Both before the wars and after.
You saw the wars?
Aye.
How did you survive the Ultiferno if your home was in the Ashen Expanse? Were you away from home?
To be fair, I'm not quite sure how I survived. The Khazdurim set upon us, and in a very sudden showing of strength, took our primal lumber, and I woke up afterwards, hardly able to walk. I made my way over to Florignas. I spent my time in the Dryad's Grove over there for a while. They helped get me back to health, and I helped them as I could, and then I finally felt the call to move on. I made my way southeast, and you know the story from there.
It seems like we both stand on the same side, then.
I would say that's a fact. Although I don't harbour as much hatred for the Khazdurim. What they did was awful. I don't trust them at all. But there are other avenues, other things that could be going on. And perhaps there's a piece of me that hopes that expectation will be subverted and they won't be apart at all. I'm still not so sure.
Well, we shall see.
If you don't mind, I have a couple of things to drop off in my room as well. Yeah, we'll have to talk sometime. Maybe swap some stories.
Yes, absolutely, Fortis. It was a pleasure fighting alongside you.
It's a pleasure fighting alongside you as well. As I've said, my respect for Keratasian gnomes knows no bounds. You live up to their name. And Euan will stand up and make his way over to his room to deposit some things, as well as his shoes and socks. And honestly, most of the furs as well. He doesn't really need armor. He has walking armor.
Okay. As you all spend a good hour or so here just recuperating, kind of resting some of those wounds that were acquired from the recent Tidefin fight, and just kind of relaxing for a brief moment before then getting all ready to go back out and kind of gather up. Leave anything that you don't want to get wet as you then meet back up towards the door. Does anyone want to do anything before you head on out? And charter another ferryman to take you back to where you originally found this place?
Nope.
I do really quick, actually. As Euan is getting his stuff ready and is depositing his clothing and whatnot, he'll go to remove his pouch and it feels a little heavier than he remembers. He'll reach in, pull out the pair of shoes that he picked up for Asja, and we'll remember that he bought them, and we'll go over to Asja's room, knock on the door.
Come in.
He'll open the door, step in, sort of duck down under the door jamb. Little one, I forgot. I picked these up for you while we're out in the market today. I know you said you were looking for some. And they're nothing special. They're just a very normal set of like traveler's shoes, traveler's boots. It's something that will be a little bit more comfortable to walk in.
Oh, those look very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
I hope they fit. I tried as hard as I could to guess your shoe size, but I hope they fit. If not, we can go back later.
Okay.
Just for the shits and giggles, go ahead and roll just like a survival check for me to see if you picked out decent shoes that could fit. Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
What's the total on that?
The total is 8.
Okay, so they'll do. They just won't fit super well. They'll be a little big. But definitely better than walking around everywhere with the sandals.
They'll give it a
Extra thick socks. That's all you need.
I think for while we're swimming, maybe I will use sandals though, because, well, you said you don't like wet socks, so I assume that means that they're very uncomfortable.
They're so uncomfortable. The way they cling to your scales. Oh, you like visibly shudder as well talking about it.
Guess it's good I don't have scales then. Oh. She'll finish putting away her snacks and just grab a couple and... Well, I hope that these will at least... These ones should not get too ruined if they get wet. So, I at least have some snacks and hot sauce and things.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Right, let's go.
Time to go take a really long bath.
And we'll make our way back down to the other members of our little squad.
Okay. As you all gather up and charter a ferry out, just someone mark off like a gold for the 4 of you to go across the city. And then, yeah, you're taken right back to where you kind of were originally. You see the one kind of storm warden kind of just sitting there on the side of the canal, just kind of dangling their legs, holding onto a spear, and just waiting for anything to happen as you all arrive. Grok's not here currently, but the other storm warden kind of looks up. So, you guys are back? He kind of stands up. Good to hear. Nothing has come out from it. It's just been kind of quiet.
Quiet is good.
Well, we're going to try and see what we can find out by following it. We'll let you know when we get back.
Good to hear.
And Rhukkarrak will start climbing down to the water.
Okay. So as you all enter the water and start to swim down there, you kind of take that initial breath of water, and it's very jarring, and you almost have to will yourself to do so and push past your instinctual abilities to just breathe. As you kind of just are in the water there, you take in that first breath, and it sends a shock of just alarm through you for a moment until you just feel the deep kind of inset of water, and it is soothing It doesn't. Your fears kind of fade. And you're able to breathe the water just as easily, albeit a little stranger than you can breathe air.
Well, that is an interesting experience. Shall we? And he's going to start leading the party towards where Asja and him found the hole.
Okay.
See, I did bring some rope along with me just in case we have to, tie you to me to get you down into the hole here.
Excellent.
Same with you, Maldorwen.
One thing.
I
She's
also
gonna-
brought some rope. I think it's a good idea to perhaps tie together and have the person in front be pulling the rope. Tie it somewhere around here before we go. Even if it doesn't go all the way in, it could help.
Right, we should also know, I can see in dark places, and Rhukkarrak can see in dark places.
I can see in dark places as well.
Excellent, so, and Mal, can you see in dark places?
Yes, my vision is quite acute. That's why I'm very accurate with the crossbow.
Excellent, so we do not need to wonder about how to make light. This is a good thing then. As she's saying this, her long, flowy skirt, so she's kicking her legs, she's just gonna kind of, and so leaving her armor and stuff like that on, she's gonna kind of shimmy out of her skirt though, because it's, realistically speaking, a skirt would be very much impeding in someone trying to kick legs.
Mhm.
So she is going to be sandals, her little undershorts, and the rest will still be armored and stuff like that.
Although the mental image of Asja trying to kick around like a little jellyfish is kind of amusing.
Yeah, no. I
Okay.
don't want disadvantage if I have to run away from a Tidefin or something like that. So, yeah. So she's just gonna kind of wrap that up and.
Would you
shove
all like
that
me
into
to
her
take
bag.
point? Let the big things hit me first? Assuming that there are any down there.
How good are your eyes? I mean, I know you can see in darkness, but I have found that my ability to see in the dark is better than even most of those who can normally see in the darkness.
I can see well enough, but if you've got some sort of supervision in the darkness, I still don't know if we put you in the point or directly behind me. I leave that up to
Should
you and what you
we-
believe your capabilities are.
I have been blessed by the Father of Darkness. I can I can lead. It's fine.
His eyes narrow a little bit at the Father of Darkness comment.
I will be
Not
in the
really
back.
understanding it. We
Okay.
will. And I'll toss the first end of the rope up to Rhukkarrak.
Okay. He'll secure it around himself.
Euan will secure it around himself next.
As you
Right, I guess I'm third.
have a proper... So did you secure the rope to something on land as well, or just between the four of you?
Just to tie the four of us together so that way
Okay.
we have less of a chance of getting lost or separated under the water.
Makes sense. Okay. We'll say, how much leeway do you give on each person?
Well, we have 2 things of rope, so why don't we use 1 thing of rope for Euan and Rhukkarrak, and then 1 thing of rope for Asja and Maldorwen?
Ropes are like 50 feet, right?
Oh, that's
Correct.
true.
Give
They
us
are very,
about-
very long. Never mind.
That would give us about 25 feet apiece between us.
That's I think like 10 feet distance in between each person would be okay, don't you
That's
think?
probably fine. And just be ready if there's combat or something down here. Be ready to cut the rope.
Okay. So as you all are secured, tied together, as you start to Rhukkarrak, start to swim towards this entrance. And this entrance itself isn't super narrow. It's not like you're swimming through like a 5x5. Like, decently large Tidefins came out of here, at least what you're assuming. And so it is a good 15 or so feet, roughly. I mean, it's very jagged and edged as the rock is all crumbly. But yeah, you're able to start making your way in, down further and further you go. And you start to swim further and deeper. The light that you can see, the skylight behind you, starts to get dimmer and dimmer with each kind of stroke of your arms as you are pulling yourself further and further deeper. You are on a roughly 45-degree angle, or the best that you can tell. It's a little hard to tell what is up and what is down here when everything around you is just water. So you continue to swim. The thing that is helping is the little bit of the light, but as you do so, it starts to diminish. As the cavern itself starts to wind and turn a little bit, as you get further and further in. You start to go a good 100 or so feet before you completely can't really make up any of the light behind you anymore. And everything, you can still see the shapes of the kind of walls and whatnot here. And it does open up a bit as you kind of go further in. But everything at this point is just monochromatic, as your dark vision is just able to see in that kind of monochromatic light, as there is no natural light in here whatsoever. There isn't... Actually, let's have the group make a perception check. Do so at disadvantage, though, because of the light situation here. Plus, you're underwater, so...
Okay. Now, it does say that I can see normally in dim light and darkness, both magical and non-magical. I'm assuming you want me to do the same as everyone else.
Right. Go ahead and roll just normally then for you, because you do have that special feature.
15 for Euan.
Oh no.
It's a 15
total
for
of
Euan.
6.
So 6 for Rhukkarrak, 15
Excellent.
for Euan,
Yep.
11.
11 for Asja, and then Maldorwen.
11 for me as well.
11. Okay. So not terrible, but definitely not great. As this is definitely your first experience doing something like this for most of you, if not all of you. But you do kind of... I think, Asja, you would notice that there just isn't much like algae or like plant life here at all. It is just kind of stones and whatnot that kind of shape up this cavern. And kind of with that information, you kind of piece together that this had to be somewhat recent. It couldn't have been like a long time ago, because just the natural way that water is, it would have had like algae or whatnot growing here if it was like a long time ago that this happened. So that kind of intrigues you a little bit
Okay.
as you continue down.
She'll swim up closer to Maldorwen, who's in third position. She's in last. Hey, Maldorwen, there's something very... This has to be new cave. There's no plants that you normally get in water that sits for periods of time. Even algae, it's not fast to arrive, but if this cave had been here for a while, it would definitely have something, and there's nothing here. Maybe you want to see if you can tell people ahead, I don't know.
He will nod and pull on the rope, and then pass the message forward. So when it gets to Ruka, it's gonna be that we're gonna have pizza in like 5 minutes.
Telephone!
Woohoo!
Okay, I'll say it is weird talking under here because, like, as you speak, you're just, it's distorted to a degree. Like, you're not bubbling water because you don't have any air in your lungs themselves. So it does make it a little easier than it would be like if we as people would try to talk underwater, where it's like blah, 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 blah. But it is still not nearly as, like, sound just doesn't travel through water nearly as easily as it does through air, and so it is a bit distorted.
Although it's gonna be even more convoluted when it gets to Rhukkarrak.
Exactly. Yeah, the message is passed along. As Rhukkarrak, you continue to go down. I think...
Did you just say the rocks are fried chicken?
Chickens don't even exist. What is a chicken? Yeah, but around this point, probably a good 150-ish feet after you're swimming. So not like a ton of time. You're not under here for a large portion, but the cavern here does open up into a larger kind of space. As you kind of enter that, you now start to pick up on these more signs of life. There's some, like, coral and some like seaweed type plants that are kind of within here. You also notice smoother carved stone on the side of one of the cavern walls in front of you.
This smooth carved stone, does it have any of this plant life, or does it look new as well?
Go ahead and make another perception check for me.
Holy cow. Apparently I can't see in the dark. It's fine. That's a total of 8.
I'll say, as you kind of make your way over there, you do need to get a little closer than you were initially wanting, maybe. But you do see different signs of age on the stonework here. But it opens up into kind of like cracked, and you can see it's not like just a smooth wall. It's like broken down bits of stonework, but definitely look like they have been worked. Like, you can tell that at least. It stands out quite heavily from the natural kind of cavernous environment around it. And it does lead into another entranceway that, from just peering out, you can see is much more refined, almost marble-like walls.
Well, maybe there isn't natural tunnels in this area, but we didn't ask about unnatural. He was kind of saying to himself. Euan might hear a little bit.
What did you say about funnels?
Oh, I was just talking about when we'd asked, and he's like turned and kind of shouting back as best he can. I was thinking out loud about the when we were asking about tunnels. We asked about natural tunnels. We didn't ask about, well, underwater construction or built unnatural tunnels.
No, we didn't. Did you find something?
Can you not see all around us? This is more of a structure that was built here. Though it is slimy, like it's been here for a while.
You will take a look around, and it finally clicks with him what he's looking at. That makes a lot more sense. I wonder why something like this would be here.
Yeah. Can I roll a history check or something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'd say do it at disadvantage, though, just because your knowledge of Elendor isn't super good.
Sure. Absolutely. Makes sense. Nice.
Pretty good.
15?
15. Okay.
And okay.
You try to recall. Elendor was founded like 400 or 500 years ago, something like that. You're not exactly sure what this could be. If this is that old, maybe it was just always here. You're not sure if what this is, but you know of different kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Ancient, like people have lived in Arathar for thousands of years. And so this under here probably isn't like from Elendor, maybe, depending on the age of when this was built. But probably some people before that.
So I guess Maldorwen is like touching around the stone and getting close, and then he'll turn to the group and say, "This seems even much older than the city above."
You said the door was carved. If Asja takes a look, is there any sort of script, or is it just carved decoratively, or is there pictures, or...
So it's not really a doorway. It almost looks like, yeah, now that you're down here, it looks like this was a wall that has been broken down. Now it leads into an entrance of some other structure. Okay. But go ahead and roll an investigation check for me to kind of pinpoint any details.
19.
Nice.
That's pretty good. And so you can see, as you kind of scrape away some of the algae and whatnot that has been just built up, what you can only assume is a long time. And the walls themselves, like, it looks to be quite exquisite, like marble of some sort, the stonework here. And they are engraved in some really kind of fanciful patterns and whatnot that you can see here. Nothing that comes to an alarm, though.
Okay,
with that, I'll say, as you kind of are looking just at the entranceway here, you do pinpoint object kind of sitting on the stone floor of the actual entrance here.
Rhukkarrak? What's that? And she points at the object. I don't want to touch in case, you know, I know back at our place, you know, there's some things that if people touch, bad things happen. So, you know, you three seem to know better whether something is a bad thing or not to touch. But there is something on the ground there.
Let me see if I can get a better look at it. And he'll kind of swim over and take a closer look at whatever this thing is.
As you do get a closer look now, you can ascertain more of what it is. Looks to be a tool of sorts, like a pickaxe, maybe? And it's just sitting on the ground here. One thing that, well, yeah, that's what you see in front of you.
What's the condition of the pickaxe?
Okay. As you kind of pick it up, do you pick it up?
He's not gonna touch it yet.
Okay, just go ahead and roll a perception check for me then, instead of investigation.
Oh, we're getting a little higher. Total 14.
14, okay. You can tell quite clearly that this has not got the age on it that other spots here have. It looks to be a lot newer. The metal on it isn't rusted, at least not fully. It looks much newer.
After seeing that there's doesn't seem to be... he was also checking to see if there's anything suspicious about it. And if he didn't see anything, then he'd pick it up.
As you're now holding it here, now go ahead and roll an investigation or a history check for me, actually.
Oh, I am not good at these. That's
Okay.
a total of 7.
Yeah, it's a pickaxe.
And he's gonna kind of bring it in with the rest of the party. Does anyone else recognize this make?
Can I see?
Yeah, he'll pass it over.
My people specialize in old and ancient lores and things. I don't know. Can I make a roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll as well.
Can I guide Asja?
Sure, how do you do so?
Just looking around and like seeing as the pickaxe is not as old as the place. Just trying to remember also if there's like anything that I would remember about the make, and trying to channel that through Asja.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your history check, and then Maldorwen, go ahead and roll a d4 on top of that.
Oh yes.
21 plus 4 is a 25.
25, very nice. This pickaxe, as you're kind of holding it in your hand, it's very well crafted. The metal on it is, yet again, not rusted. It's very new, stands out quite heavily. But you can definitely tell it was not made by elves. This pickaxe shows the signs of a Khazdurim. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Ah!
I know it.
Okay. Yes, but Asja hasn't said anything yet, so hold on. Okay.
Rhukka had already kind of accepted it as soon as he saw the pickaxe.
We are going to dive right back in. Right after Asja has now just identified this pickaxe to be of Khazdurim make.
Right, as she's got it in her hands before she says anything, she's just kind of going to be trying to get a feel of it and just see if it has anything maybe engraved on it or anything like that, or does it just look like a plain, ordinary
It is quite
pickaxe?
the exquisite tool here.
And it's not
and it is
damaged by the water at all.
hefty. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be damaged. Like, you might see the beginnings of rust to start to form, but definitely not as much as you would expect it to be if it has been here for as long as this place has been.
Asja is going to draw upon her elven lineage and cast Detect Magic upon the pickaxe. Is the
Okay.
pickaxe magical at all?
As you kind of center your senses and start to focus around you towards the arcane and the magic that flows throughout this world, sense a heavy kind of water energy all around you in the water here. But the pickaxe itself doesn't appear to be magical now.
Okay. Well, Khazdurim, we're here. This is not magical, so it means it was recently dropped here too. You can see the water has not taken much effect.
This puts a lot of strong suspicion on the Khazdurim then.
Yes, it does. We should definitely confront them about it and
Yes. We should take it back
check
as well.
for any shady business. Do you think they are anchored around here?
I don't think we swam far enough for it to have been I believe we were told a day's walk?
Well,
If nothing, this interesting marble thing. Maybe where they are beached, they know more about what we do. Maybe there are tunnels that were already from, as you said before, very, very old histories. Maybe they already knew about it, but the people of Elendor don't know about them. Because obviously now they are underwater.
Well, we have a few days, hours left in the day. I think we should try and find out where this comes out. On the ocean side.
That would be the next thing, yes.
Okay.
But if there were Tidefins, we should keep an eye out. Make sure we don't get cut off guard by something like that.
Okay.
And if no one disagrees, he'll start moving forward again.
All right. As you kind of start swimming in towards the actual stonework here of this, whatever this is, the feels very old as you see bits of coral and seaweed kind of growing out of the walls and the ground itself as you're starting to swim through now this structure of sorts. All manner of currently you're in a smaller room that leads forward through kind of a thinner hallway, if you would, that then opens up into a bigger room. As you kind of start swimming past this hallway here, it then opens into about 30-ish feet wide room with a large kind of pillar in the middle that's kind of supporting part of it. But you can just see as you're in here, whatever this is old. As many years of being submerged under the water here have been just eating away at the interior here. The ceiling itself kind of is crumbly, and it's pretty murky in here too. Like, it's already very low visibility. There's no light, and it just, every kind of shadow that you see with your dark vision just kind of almost spooks you, as it's a little bit of the swaying of like seaweed and whatnot. As you start to make your way into this larger interior, you can then see from here there's another hallway that appears to go forward, and then from a vantage point you can then see a different hallway that goes towards the south. You can either go north or south in this room here. Go ahead and just give me a perception check as well, Rhukkarrak.
Yay, finally. 16.
16. Okay. As you're, there's all manner of like coral and just sea life that has been in this place. But it's not like you haven't been in the ocean before, really. And so you're not sure what you're looking at. And you see all these like jagged edges of these coral and whatnot. There are larger kind of clumps of them in some of the corners that you see. But there doesn't appear
anything look recently disturbed.
Other than where you came from? With the 16. No, it doesn't look like it. Everything here looks pretty aged.
Okay.
You're also, like, the interior here is big enough and, like, the ceiling's tall enough that you don't even have to, like, sit down on the floor to walk. You can just swim through it all.
Yeah. You said they can only go north and south?
North and south
Is that like left and right?
No. So one is the chamber here is like a 30-ish by like 5 or by like 30 by 30 roughly, almost square in nature. And on the opposite end of where you just entered this room, there's a corridor that goes out.
Oh.
Then on the same wall
that you just entered from, there's another corridor. So you just came up from the south in this instance.
Okay.
And you can turn and do a little U-turn almost and go down that corridor, or you can keep going forward northern direction to a different corridor.
Well, unless anyone says anything, he's just going to continue going straight.
Okay.
He's assuming that that's the closest way to the ocean.
Okay. So as you start to go forward towards that direction, Maldorwen, what was the total on your history check earlier, if you can remember?
Well, I wish I had that kind of memory.
That's what history checks are for. Just go ahead and roll another one. It's been a minute.
Sure.
Ten.
10?
Okay. So as you're just swimming along here, you do see kind of faded, almost murals of sorts that are emblazoned and built into the walls here, the like marble work. And it looks like it would have been an incredible sight to see, if not the fact that it's been years and years of decay that have overtaken this place. But you do see a larger circular like picture of sorts kind of on this mural, and it kind of just makes you think a little bit. Would you like to investigate it further?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So as Maldorwen kind of breaks off a little bit, I'd say it would almost make all of you have to stop, in a sense, to kind of go towards this wall and look at this further. You kind of dust away some of the muck and grime that has just built up over years and years of it sitting here. And what you can see now is the circular shape. You can clearly make it out to be, or at least a representation of Aquar, the elemental planet of water. And you can, as you kind of unveil this tapestry, or this mural, it's not cloth, on the wall here, it just shows like, almost makes you feel like reverence for the planet itself.
Okay, so as I look more into it, would it be okay if I rolled religion for this?
Sure.
Okay. Can I guide myself?
How do you do
Because this is something that definitely has to do with the conflict. We already found the pickaxe and something with Aquar here. Like, this is something that is definitely giving me all the right vibes, and I feel like almost like an omen just opened itself in front of me. I was waiting to look at the sky tonight, but I probably won't even have to.
Okay, so as you feel kind of the water around you completely submerged, in this case, now staring at a representation of Aquar here, go ahead and make your religion check with guidance. Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Just go ahead and roll the d4. See if you can get over 30.
Oh my god. Yes, it's a 30.
That's
30.
a 30 right
Oh
there.
my goodness. So, this is definitely, like, religious in nature. Like, whoever inscribed this, whoever did this, they definitely had intents of being very devout to worshipping whatever Aquar stands for, or even the planet itself. It does feel incredibly old. Like, the symbology here is something you've never seen before, but it is very much so like reverence and just depicting kind of water in its entirety. And you can kind of piece those together. Whoever built this definitely worshipped. Like this is a place of worship towards what you can assume is Aquar. Maybe they didn't call it that. Maybe they had a different name for it. Maybe there was something more there. But this is definitely a place of worship. Or was.
right? And it's ancient.
Very.
So he'll just like be in awe at what he's seeing, right? And kind of motion towards the others to get closer. And kind of he already said this was an old place, but he'll say, I think this is a temple. I don't know if it was built by the Khazdurim, but if it was, perhaps before this place flooded? Perhaps this place flooded because of the temple?
I don't suppose there's any way of knowing how long this has been here. Maldorwen?
Well, not a precise way, and there is no way to know for certain, no. But they worship the planet. Perhaps everything changed here because of it.
Perhaps this is where the Khazdurim are looking for the primal water. If that's the element here. I'm assuming it is based on all of this.
It would
At this
stand
time-
on this one.
Maldorwen, you do recall. That's what. Elendor has a primal frost.
Frost.
Oh, okay. I'll say, oh, now I remember the element that the city above is most attuned to is, well, they have a primal frost. So, I don't know, this
Do you
is...
think it maybe have originated from here? I know that cities are often lost in the upheaval of the seasons, and that the
Maybe there was even a different primal energy down here before. It also stands to reason that if this was built by the Khazdurim, then they would know about it, know how to get here.
I will say, with your 30 religion check, just studying it a bit more, it does feel a bit more elven ancestral than not. Like, you've studied different elven stuff. This just has a little bit more of that feeling. But very, very old still. It's still very much very kind of unique. And it's very different from what you've seen.
Okay, so he'll turn to Asja and say, but I think this place was built by other elves. This is quite far south in Aruthar. If the Khazdurim were here before and thousands of years ago, I don't know, it just doesn't seem likely. Asja, do you recognize any of this? Perhaps, is this something familiar to you?
Asya is going to go over to the wall where they've dusted off the planet and stuff like that, and I don't know, give me a moment. Let's see if I can make this a little bit cleaner. And just for at least a minute, she's like, for the next little bit, every 6 seconds, obviously, she's going to try and just clear off an area using prestidigitation, just to see what's underneath, to see if there's more around the planet that could maybe give a clearer indication, like see if there is any more of the painting that has survived a bit more.
Okay.
But using prestidigitation to get it real clean.
Yeah, we'll say with that, you kind of clean up the area even more, and almost restoring it to what it might have once been, albeit with still the wear and tear that prestidigitation isn't able to clean off, but that's deep-setted. You do kind of reveal a bit more of the mural here. You can see that it almost depicts like humanoids that are like worshipping this thing, this planet in the sky. You can then see that one of them appears to be like surrounded with water almost. It's hard to kind of decipher it, but Maldorwen with his 30 is able to do so quite easily. Just kind of picking up on really what the conflict is telling him in this moment and really fine-tuning what the purpose of this was, or the intent behind whoever carved this and created this originally. You can then see like this individual does have like there's a small little fragment of like energy that you can see that Maldorwen can be like, yeah, that if that was trying to depict a primal frost, that's what they would do. Looks very similar, and yeah, so just worship towards that and a connection towards a primal frost as well.
Okay, Asja's gonna take a little closer look at the figures. And even though they're time worn and stuff like that, on the figure, is there any sort of jewelry or anything like that that may kind of, because, you know, now Asja's learning, oh, there's other Gemborn now, so there's fire one, and then there's me, which is more life one. Maybe there were water ones at one point, so she's trying to just kind of take a look to see if maybe this is a lost ancient line of Gemborn elves.
You don't see any depictions that show like gemstones or anything on the individual itself. The images of like the actual people are relatively basic and more present. The presentation with this is much more leaning towards like the planet itself that is depicted very well, and whatnot. The actual other parts of it are not as detailed. They just look like humanoids.
It is strange. I don't know. They look like they should be elves, but I don't know if they are. I mean, normally our kind don't really align with water. It's not really in our elemental natures, and I have never heard of a Gemborn elf that is water. And these don't look like they have any. I don't know. This confuses me a lot. I mean, she had kind of a wistful look on her face. I guess now is one of the times where I could feel slightly sad that my city was destroyed. I'm pretty sure the archives there would have had something on this. But all of that knowledge is lost. I don't know. They're obviously worshipping water and the planet. Other than that, I don't know. Sorry.
I wonder if this place takes on any extra change or meaning when during Tideswell. Anyway, shall we? Unless you see any more interesting pieces around here, should we continue on our journey?
Yes, we should move on.
Let's move. Something about this place gives me the creeps.
All right. As you break apart from the mural there and continue going in that northernish direction, you go into the corridor, then it breaks off into two separate ways. You can go right or left.
Right.
Right. Okay. So as you go right, you then...
Because when they first entered, the canal was in a east-west direction, right? So they were moving east?
Yep.
So then did the tunnel that they were going down eventually curve north?
The tunnel was facing towards the southern direction. Like the
So
actual...
it was going southern.
Yes.
And then when we went into this building, it started going, the corridor started going north?
Go ahead and just roll a survival check for me. It is incredibly hard to tell direction at this point.
Yeah, I would imagine. Can't see the sky or anything, but that's a 16.
16, I mean... You think that... Yeah, going that way might lead back towards... Like, you kind of imagine the pathway you took to get here. You're like, yeah, that's probably right. Right is probably right. But you're not sure.
Yep. He's confident. He's going right.
Alright. Right. As you go right, it then breaks off into another corridor that starts to go right again. And then further down. And there's more just murals of different pictures and whatnot that are more faded than the one you saw in there. But other just images depicting kind of water as an element itself. It then opens up into a larger kind of the stonework in front of you is now broken again. And you see a larger kind of cavernous place again.
This
DM,
looks like a...
Sorry, go ahead. All right. Does the temple look like it's been carved out of the living rock here in the cavern that we're in? Is that kind of what I'm gleaning out of this?
Go ahead and roll a stone check.
Is that stone or stoned check?
I think just a general intel or nature. Nature would probably be a good one.
That's a 6.
Okay. It's really hard to tell. I mean, it definitely appears that it's different. Like, you can see the differences from the actual stonework here and then like the cavern itself. You don't think that they're made out of the same stuff. The temple here, or the structure, is much more like a refined, almost marble kind of appearance, where the others is just like scraggly cavern stuff.
Gotcha.
But since it's been here so long, you're not sure if this was actually like made into this cavern or just somehow found its way here.
Okay, so this cavern we're going into, it no longer looks like it's this part of the structure.
Correct.
Okay. Then yeah, he'll go into it, kind of keeping along the right wall, kind of like what he's been doing.
Okay. Let's just have everyone roll investigation or perception checks for me as you continue on.
The bad rolls have moved to me. That's a 7.
It's
Dirty
13
20.
for me.
Dirty 20. 13 for Rhukkarrak, dirty 20 for Asja, then Maldorwen. What
It
was
was
it?
an 8 for me.
8, okay.
Yeah.
So, as you're kind of making your way, this is opened up quite heavily. Like the corridors of the structure that you just exited from are a little tighter, but this is quite a bit larger now. And you start to swim. Asja, I'd say you're the one who picks up on it. You, just out of the corner of your eye, see what you almost mistake for seaweed to begin with, but you kind of double check and it's what appears to be like something just kind of drifting in the water. Like that's like clinging to the
rock.
She's gonna tug the rope. Kind of tug, 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 tug. As she's like getting closer to Maldorwen. Maldorwen? What's that over there? And she'll point out the thing clinging to the wall. Rhukkarrak! I'm trying to do this quietly. I don't know if it's actually a thing or it's maybe not a thing. I don't know.
With you guys kind of stopping, I'm assuming it would kind of pull the rope. You'd kind of look back and start swimming back to find out what's going on.
What is that over there? It looks like seaweed, but not seaweed. I don't... Something doesn't sit right with that. What is that?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the plants and creatures of the ocean. He's gonna try and see if he can discern if it's a threat.
Okay. As Asja kind of points it out, you'll kind of stare at it as it kind of just slowly kind of shifts with the water kind of current that's slowly here. This water isn't completely still, but it's not like rushing by any means. And it just kind of drifts, like, really almost looks like seaweed to a degree. But then it's not. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is from this distance. You're a good little ways away from it. If you want to get closer, you could potentially ascertain more of what it is.
It's not a part of their current mission. So as long as it's going to keep its distance, he is fine with them just moving on.
I will say, actually, go ahead and just make a nature check for me. And
that is an 8.
yeah, it doesn't look like it's something like living.
Asja, do you have any idea of what it might be? Or if it is a threat?
Well,
How big is it? Sorry, Asja. Go ahead.
Not that big.
going to ask a slightly morbid question. What shape is it?
It's kind of looks just like a flowing piece of something. It looks like maybe it's like a piece of a cloth.
I'll go. She's going to, I guess, approach the seaweed, not seaweed, possibly cloth, but definitely not body shaped.
Yeah, definitely not body shaped.
Definitely not body shaped. Okay, good.
It's Tidefin shaped. Ah, no.
Well, I was thinking more like a poor Khazdurim who's water breathing, cut out before he got out or something. I don't know. And she will swim over and with her staff just kind of... No, actually, she's holding with pickaxe, just kind of poke at it.
Yeah, as you get closer and you can make out a little more of the details here, it does just appear to be like a torn piece of cloth that's kind of just caught on part of the rock here.
Okay, well, she will collect the piece of cloth and fold it up and put it in her bag for later. And swim back. Was piece of cloth I gathered, but we'll look at it later. Maybe I can make new clothes out of it. Let's keep going. I always like wearing vintage.
Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think cloth normally lasts very long in water.
That is true. But unfortunately, when I checked the pickaxe to see if it was special, I I don't have that ability again until after we go to sleep. So again, I will check it out later.
Oh no!
As you
Okay.
said, it wasn't part of our mission, so we should just keep going. Let's keep swimming. Let's keep swimming before this spell wears off. Because we still have to make it back. We need to remember that part.
I mean, he
Okay.
said we had all day, right? Well, anyway, yes, let's
That's
go.
true, but we've already fought Tidefins, been up early, barely eaten, all the rest of that. I'm not sure how long you want to swim in a 24 or in a however long hour period a day is. Eventually, we might need to rest.
Yes. But anyway, did the fabric, did the cloth look like it was torn from something?
Yes. But as you said, it was not part of what we were doing, so we should just keep going, right?
I mean, unless it's part of the person who left the pickaxe, like part of their clothing.
No, this is much older. This seems to be older than the pickaxe. And she'll pull out the cloth. And take a good look at the cloth. She'll press digitation again. Kind of clean it off.
It
See,
doesn't
torn.
really need cleaning.
Oh, okay. Just kind of shivers it off. I would say even without doing spells on it, it's probably magical. I would say maybe to keep clean. Maybe a very messy person had it and they wanted to hide that they were messy.
What color is this piece of fabric?
We can't
You
tell.
can't tell.
Oh.
We are only seeing in grayscales right now.
I mean, except I can see normally in darkness, but
That's true. It appears like it's hard to tell still.
oh yeah,
It appears very dark. It's
okay.
maybe a dark gray, maybe black. We're not sure.
Okay, when they have better light.
Either way,
Yep.
she'll
we'll
hold it
continue.
up. You said you don't know that much about magic anyway. I seem to be the most knowledgeable. And she puts it back in her bag. I will check it out after I have sleep. I will let you know what it is.
Yes. Anyway, I'm just again curious if it is related to whoever left the pickaxe or dug the hole, like if they ripped their clothing on the way in or out. Anyway, and he'll continue forward.
Okay. So as you continue to go forward, the kind of tunnel, and you do see the rocks and the coral here are like quite jagged and sharp. Like you don't want to really get towards the like edge of the walls here, or without like scraping yourself against it. So you continue to swim through the middle, kind of all trying to make do with being connected to each other and the pace they're in. And you slowly start to go further and further out in this corridor. Swim for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, about half an hour. I'm just going to continue swimming.
We are, in fact, still in a cavern, right?
From what you can tell, yeah.
All right. I was just making sure it didn't, like, open up to open gulf or ocean before we realized it.
Yeah, like if it's taking more than 15 minutes or like 20 minutes, I would stop and say, well, it seems like we already have enough. Perhaps we should turn back. Take the pickaxe to the surface. Let them know what we found.
I mean, well, I would like to confront the Khazdurim with the information that we have. And, well,
What do you think they're going to do? Oh yeah, it was our pickaxe. Sorry, we made tunnel and let Tidefins in.
there is much that can be read off of the face when you bring something that is recognizable. But I still think this is the best opportunity that we have to find where this comes out. I don't think that we will be able to get this spell again. And if we go back now, we will not be able to see.
But
Even-
what is it
even if we-
exactly that we're looking for? We don't know
where
if
it comes-
this is gonna end up in the right place.
I'm also still curious where this lets out. I'm also curious about the other pathway that we missed a while back.
I am more with Maldorwen that I think that this way is not really doing much, but maybe we go back and go down other pathway for same amount of time and see if there's anything there.
I think we already have our answer that this place does indeed somehow lead to the Morbihan Gulf with the fact that there were Tidefins coming out of the hole. This place is much bigger than I expected. Perhaps a straight shoot or underwater cave, but I think, like Forty said, going back and checking the other way around to see if there is more structures may be more useful.
True. I am just curious if this comes out near where the Khazdurim are currently sitting. But if you want to turn around, we can turn around.
Hours walk from city, so it's already going to be big swim back to city as well. So I don't know if it's smart to go out and see if Khazdurim are nearby. Remember, there is only 4 of us. It's very easy to make 4 people disappear very quickly if they want to.
I can make the 4 of us disappear rather quickly from anyone that wants to try and capture us.
Oh, I can make myself disappear completely, but I can't do anything for the 3 of you. Either way, we should probably go back, check other corridor, because this one, again, there's not even a sign that... You would think that... I have never heard of an aquatic Khazdurim before, so you would think that maybe if they did come through here, there would have been more signs, especially seeing as this... She kind of very gingerly reaches out and... yeah. The coral here is very sharp. You would think maybe there would be a broken path or something. I don't know how good they are at swimming.
Well, I think that is why there is the torn fabric. But anyway, if you want to turn back and explore the rest of the ruin, we can do that.
We can either go back and try to explore more of the ruin, or see if we can find any of the Khazdurim.
Khazdurim?
Or Khazdurim mermaid? I'm just trying to be funny again, right?
What is a mermaid?
A thing from legend.
Oh.
Half human, half fish. Not sure which is which, though.
That brings many questions to my mind, ones I should not be asking right now.
But
Okay.
also, with finding this piece of fabric here, we know that there are things that did come from this way at some point, which would lead me down this path. But I am but one voice in our grouping of 4, so...
Well, no, I'm with you. I would also like to figure out what came down this way.
She's gonna just kind of swim off a little bit, muttering, "Just stay over there. Don't look over here. It will do bad things. But you want to know more about this cloth now?" She's gonna pull out one of her own coins this time. Here we go again. She's gonna whisper into the coin again, and her breath will become very glimmery as the coin slowly will start to flicker with light within it. And she'll pull out the cloth, and now with actual light, she will take a look at the cloth.
Okay.
So you can judge color, like we can judge color and see if there's any script on it or anything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cloth itself is a very dark grayish color. It is
dark gray.
very silky fabric. It almost repels the water to a certain degree.
It is silky fabric, probably very expensive, probably magical, and seems to push water away from it. And she'll close her hand around the coin so that the light is immediately dimmed and kind of pull back out from where she was trying to tuck herself in to not blind everybody.
So, probably a quite unique piece of clothing. Probably relatively easy to identify if we come across the actual garment. Interesting.
That's quite the if, though.
Yes. Which is why I would like to follow where it came from.
About this time, you all start to feel like the water kind of tremble around you. It's weird. It's like vibrations are being sent through the water itself. As you see some of the like stone and whatnot kind of crack and break and fall to the ground.
Does this give any vibe compared to what they saw the Tidefins do in their fight?
No.
Okay.
Not even to make a check. You can see like the cavern you're in here is like shaking. Like you can't really feel the vibrations fully because you're not standing, but
nature check to see if maybe is earthquake happening, but we are underwater, so that's what's going on.
Yeah, I also wanted to roll a perception check to see if it is sound.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Perception check, nature check. Good.
Oh.
The best rolls of all the game.
Bring it on. A fight.
Well, you both are... That's your initial thoughts, but you're a bit distracted as the ground kind of almost beneath you, next to you there, starts to upheave as what you see a large, almost claw breaks out of the ground itself and goes to grab one of you. I'll just say, everyone roll a d20 just to see. Whoever rolls lowest, it's going to try to grab.
5.
Doing rollies here.
13.
12.
Sorry, Euan.
The Maldorwen roll?
Sorry, was it a 20 you said?
Yeah, just a d20.
Okay. 5.
Okay, roll again, both Euan and
Oh no.
15.
Oh,
Oh no!
3.
oh no!
Alright,
Yeah,
so...
that's me.
13, it does have advantage on this. Yeah, 13, does that hit you?
No.
Okay, so you can kind of see this coming. It isn't like super quick, but it like is this massive kind of crustacean-like claw that kind of breaks out of the ground there and then tries to snap at you. You quickly kind of dart off to the side of it and are sitting there. What are you all doing?
I'm just gonna back the fuck away.
Euan is
Yeah.
going to grab the rope and swim and drag everybody with him away from it.
Which way are you swimming? Towards the where you were going or back from where you came?
Where's the claw in relationship to?
It's like on the wall. Like the cavern here kind of opens and shifts and winds and spins and does backflips. No, but it's just like on the side of the wall.
I start dragging this all forward, deeper into the cavern.
Okay. As Euan kind of quickly starts dragging you forward, the rest of you just following Euan's lead there?
Oh yeah, Rhukkarrak's definitely following his lead.
Alright, so Asja and Maldorwen, you two are kind of pulled. If you want to try to break free from that, then it will be a strength check. If not, then you can just go with them as you start to make it your distance from this creature. As you can see, kind of these large kind of limbs kind of start to unearth itself and then start to slowly kind of make its way towards you.
Okay, Asja is in the back. So as she is being pulled along, she's going to kind of giggle because, you know, it's one of those things. And whee! And she is going to turn around. I haven't tried this one yet, but my friend taught it to me. And she is going to cast Entangle around the area where the claw and everything is coming out to try and buy them at least a little bit more time to get away from it.
Okay.
Because she'd like to eat it with butter, not it eating them with butter. You know, little things like that. So, yeah. So she is going to cast Entangle. It needs to make a strength saving of 14.
That is a fail.
Yeah.
By 1.
All right.
So as your entangle goes off, it pretty much, like, as it now is fully kind of unearthed itself, it is almost taking up the entirety of this cavern now. As you can see, it kind of brushes against the different rock formations and breaks them apart as it kind of skitters towards you. The entangle kind of takes place and holds it there for a moment, but now there's like a barrier from back, so you can't really easily, at least, get back to where you came. But it does stop there as you start to swim further away.
She'll yell back. Okay, I held it up. I blocked the little passage, but I held it up. Just keep swimming. I will keep watch from back.
Aye, Captain.
Just keep
Good
swimming.
thinking.
Just keep swimming. Just keep
And
swimming.
I've given her all she's got.
Yeah. Rhukkarrak's gonna start kicking real hard.
Yeah. You managed to close the distance quite thoroughly from that large crab of a creature, and then continue to swim around another 10-ish minutes of swimming past. You don't swim like fast the entire time, as that would be exhausting, but you do maintain a decent pace, kind of eyeing different parts of the cavern here, making sure there's no other claws that emerge from the stone beneath, and continue to go. You start to see some silver fish that are silver kind of swimming as the cavern starts to open up further and further, and eventually you do start to see the faintest colors start to diluted as they are from some sort of natural light from above.
Rhukkarrak will start swimming up.
I think we found our way out.
Okay.
These silverfish were the same ones that were in the canal back in Elendor. Maybe we are just outside of it. Who knows?
As you surface from the water there, you can see the landscape around you. Looks like you kind of reorient yourself a little bit, kind of confused where you're at. Goodness, words. Originally, but then you do see the large kind of walls of Elendor. They're kind of curved that make up the southern portion of the walls. Probably a good 300-400 feet away. You do see that there is like rocky kind of beach that you're like next to, or a good couple 100 feet swim away from.
Are there any
Alright.
ships along the area here?
Not outside the city now. Not that you can see.
We can see. Okay.
Well, I think we should go report back to the captain.
Well, now we have two choices. Do we want to try and go back through the cavern and maybe harvest a little crab for dinner? And check out the rest of that place? Or do we want to walk back?
I can
I
see
hate
city from
walking.
here. I don't.
Yes, but I think I hate swimming a little bit more. So
We know how we can get down there. We can explore the other shaft at a later date. We figured out that the Khazdurim are at least a part of this in some capacity. We've learned where the exit to this tunnel is, or at least this exit to the tunnel is. I think that's enough to report back.
We have
Yes.
evidence. We have all the things already.
Well, I am not certain that it is the Khazdurim, because it could still be, as you said, someone trying to make it look like them. It would be very dumb of someone to leave the pickaxe there. But it is most certainly leaning towards that direction.
perhaps
But
they
not-
left on a pinch. They were attacked by a crab. They were attacked by
Or
the
a tide
Tidefins.
fin. That's what I
That
was
is-
about to say too. When you're running away, sometimes you drop things if you're in a hurry.
Yes, and this could very easily be the Khazdurim. But anyway, so we're walking back.
Well, first we swim a little bit to this beach and then we walk back. But it's not that far. You can see right there. Let's just do this. Gives us a chance to dry off. A little.
So it does.
Okay. So you all swim over to the coastline itself, and bit of a swim. Kind of tired of swimming at this point. Not used to swimming this long. Your muscles are already a bit exhausted. Actually, let's say everyone here just roll a Constitution check for me.
Also, I'm going to say
Check.
that
A saving throw actually is a better.
while we're walking, Euan is constantly like jerking his head to one side to get water out of his ear.
So a 14 for me. Rhukkarrak?
Dirty 20 for me.
Dirty 20
Okay.
for me.
15 for Euan.
Okay, you're all fine. The exhaustion is there, but you continue to press forward. You will have seen your fair share of adventure and travel, so you continue on. As you start walking down the coastline here, you can see just the towering walls of Elendor that reach probably a good 20 or so, maybe a little taller in some places. Every so often there's a tower on the wall that kind of stands out, but easy enough. You're able to spend roughly a good 30-ish minute walk back following the coast to the eastern gates that both Asja and Yuan originally entered to arrive at the city. And you're able to enter. The guards kind of look you a little funny as you're all kind of, at this point, not fully dried yet. You're still sopping a little bit. They're gonna just say, "Took a swim, eh?" And you enter the city just fine. Where are you off to?
Should we get ferry and go to the chapter? Go talk to the captain?
I think that's in order. And then perhaps a little discussion with the Storm Wardens, and then a nap.
Oh, I need to eat something.
I mean,
her stomach growls loudly.
If we are planning on going, so we were interested before this whole Tidefin in the city thing. We were interested in looking into the Khazdurim merchants. Do we still intend to do that tomorrow?
Yes, we could do that. Also, I think a visit to the Tide-trapped sanctuary would be something interesting.
Because if we are planning on going there anyway, we could potentially get more information about this, and it would be kind of a waste of everyone's time to bring it in parts and pieces. If we go there, get final information, and then bring everything at once tomorrow, I think that would be best.
I do not want to carry this pickaxe around, so I am at least going to go to the tide. I was going to at least go to the tide thing, because then, as well, it's only a ferryman that sees us with it, and we get into the chapter house, we hand them the pickaxe, and then nobody's the wiser, because remember, everybody, the Khazdurim thing is supposed to be a secret.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
And we've been saying that word a lot lately. So we need to kind of keep it on the, what is the down low.
You're getting
Don't
there.
we? I'm trying. You were a good teacher, though. But, I mean, if we have to keep this secret, walking into one of the most popular bars and taverns with a very obvious dwarven pickaxe over our shoulders, no matter who carries it in, might make people go, huh?
Well, I don't know how obvious it is of Khazdurim make, but a good point. We can go drop it off.
That is one thing we have to remember when we are talking about this with all these people, is that it's supposed to be secret. We can't just keep telling everybody, or else maybe we lose this job and it's not very good, or maybe we make enemies and somebody tries to kill us in the middle of the night. Remember, there's that whole council person that wants them to, but anyways, let's go. And if nothing, at least the captain can get on maybe watching things as well. Because she is going to have to make arrangements. If this does involve that, she will have to make arrangements to have at least some sort of plan from the Sentinel side. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
In the ferry.
You onboard a ferry that takes you over to the Tide chapter. Let's say someone mark off like 6 silver for you all.
Okay,
And
I will.
then
Okay, I will mark off 3 if you want to mark off 3.
Okay.
And then you enter the Tide chapter's halls, and out comes Captain Terra.
Captain.
You all look wet.
Very.
What did you find?
Something. Do you have office we could talk in? Maybe?
Yes.
More private place?
Follow me.
Kind of leads you back to a room that's just adjacent to the main hall there. It's decent size. It's nothing crazy, though. Different papers and parchment kind of scatter around. She kind of sits down.
Good news, bad news, both. Hopefully something.
The best of news.
Asja
Is
will
that
walk
so?
over and onto her desk, just dong. I think we have confirmation. But they can tell you more. They paid attention to more. I'm more focused on this. But yes, we found things.
She kind of picks it up. And it's hefty, too. It's like not a super light thing.
No.
As
So was there signs that the tunnel was made then?
It
This
still
is-
looked natural-ish, but we found this pickaxe near the entrance, or on the other side of the tunnel in some ancient ruin.
Ancient what?
First, we had
There-
to go down the tunnel that is the one in the canal, and it seems to be newer. There's no plant life growing in it yet. Then we came out to a chamber, and that's when we found what Ruka is trying to describe.
Yes, apparently there's some ancient water temple or something down there. Anyway, we found that near the exit of the broken tunnel.
That is quite interesting. I have not heard
Yes.
of this.
Do you know where the primal frost of your city comes from, Captain?
I do not know. I just assumed it came with the primal ember that the Zathriels brought. I
What
was
about
not.
the piece of fabric that we found?
I said I would check that out in the morning.
Oh, all right. My apologies.
What is this
I
fabric?
don't think. She pulls out this dripping piece of dark gray cloth. It's torn from something. It is made of silk material. Looks expensive, but definitely repels water. So I was going to check it out to see what magical properties it had in the morning when I had the ability to do so again.
May I see that?
Sure.
Takes it from you and starts studying it a little bit. You found this down there as well?
Yes.
Yes?
This is sea silk. It's made here in Elendor. She kind of
So-
even almost takes off one of the carapace parts of her armor. You can see, like, underneath her armor, it's like lined with this similar fabric. Most anybody who is a warrior that plans on spending time near water usually wears it. All manner of garments are made from it. But I don't believe Khazdurim would have access to it.
Well, unless the person that wants to allow them to trade maybe gave them access to it.
What if someone's trying to stage it so it looks like the Khazdurim's doing?
And how would that person have access to a Khazdurim pickaxe?
By dealing with the Khazdurim.
Then they are
By
in
inviting
covert
them
ways.
to inviting them to trade. Maybe with a initial trade.
But the pickaxe definitely confirms that the Khazdurim are somewhat involved. Which is incredibly concerning. This must be a letter to the council right now.
But if this person on the council is involved, maybe even trying to frame the Khazdurim,
If they are trying to frame the
relaying-
Khazdurim, that would even further them not being allowed access to the city, which is not what they want.
Yes. Why would they want to frame the Khazdurim if they want to trade with them?
if they want to be seen as, I don't know. Maybe it is rivals that are trying to undermine this deal. I don't know. I don't. We don't deal with politics.
Sometimes things are just as they seem, Ruka.
Yes. Sometimes they are. And actually, often they are. But I was pretty convinced that the Khazdurim were to blame until this new information about this sea silk came up. It would seem that someone else is also involved that is not Khazdurim, which would bring to question exactly who the party at fault is.
But what would the purpose of someone not Khazdurim be to unleash Tidefins on the city?
That's a good question.
I don't know offhand. I know I don't like it. It seems like some kind of power grab to me of some kind.
Were you able to confirm that the tunnel led anywhere other than this ruin?
Out into the ocean, at least for one part.
So it does lead out into past the walls?
Past the
into
walls,
the
Yes.
Gulf.
there's
Out of the
That is
eastern gates.
incredibly
There's a
discerning.
rocky beach, maybe 400 meters from the eastern gate. About 100 meters out in the ocean. That's where it comes out.
The small
He
rocky
starts
outcropping
writing
around
up
the hole.
a note with all this
But-
detail.
Just to warn you, there are crabs of extraordinary size in the tunnels.
Big shares, yes, they're quite common down below. Usually don't.
Perhaps
Oh,
you should consider blocking
Jason.
the tunnel for now.
Yes, this is not just going directly towards the Storm Wardens, and I will ensure them that it is quite the risk, and that they are to man that area until it can be closed off.
There were also two other paths that we weren't able to get to at this point. There was one coming back to the south after we got into one of the larger chambers that we found. And then another path, we took the right direction, and there was still another pathway to the left.
All cavernous
I wonder
tunnels, I wonder if those come up anywhere else.
Yes, I also wonder if maybe during Embervale it would be easier to explore down there.
How far out in the Gulf did you get to?
It's a
It was,
couple of
at
hundred
least-
feet.
100.
it was only about a 30-minute walk from the edge of the city.
I don't know if it's quite likely then. With Embervale, the water does drop quite substantially. But I don't know. It's a good thought. Embervale is unfortunately several months away. At least until the water diminishes that much.
Yes, we were wanting to check out the rest of the area down there, but it is getting late, and we think we will come back to it tomorrow.
Down in the
Yeah,
water
when-
more.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You're wanting to go back in the water?
Well, just to check out where the other tunnels lead.
I see. I don't know if it would be easy to convince more water breathing to be put upon you.
When he said it will last all day, does that mean until the sun goes down, or like
I believe it means a day from when you had it cast upon you. Maybe if you do it tomorrow morning?
so it's not like it lasts until the same time next day that it was cast on us, it's just until the sun sets?
No, the first one you said.
Oh. So we should have all morning tomorrow?
If you want it. I'm sure storm wardens could check it out too. I mean, this is a breach of their security, one that has not been seen for a long time, if ever. They
You
will
also
definitely
mentioned that the Khazdurim have a small trading post, or at least a permanent place for them to rest. Perhaps it's worth it to check that place out, at least from a distance,
I
a
do
safe
think that
distance.
could be very valuable. Just get a little bit more of their intentions.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be a lot better to not spend time in the water. Be better spent checking out the Khazdurim.
I do not know though. I did not go down there. You know better than I. If you think there are still more things to discover and places to unveil, then you think it is worth it?
Okay. Well, we will check with you tomorrow. We can discuss this amongst ourselves.
Well,
But,
yeah. Job well done at least. This is more information than I was hoping for. At least so soon. You all quite to work with a decent amount of experience. I do appreciate it. Especially with such matters as this that are quite a big threat to the city. And she goes in and grabs out a few coin pouches and hands one to each of you. You completed your task of learning at least how the Tidefins got in the city. More or less. I think there are still more to be discovered here on exactly who is the culprit. So I do appreciate if you would continue to look into this. And like I was saying even yesterday, look into, or was that this morning? This day has been so long. Looking into the Khazdurim as well.
we will do that. And Rhukkarrak will turn to head out. How much gold is in the pouch?
3 billion. No. 100 gold per. So, I mean,
I'm
it
gonna
would
take
be
the coin
more
back and put it
platinum,
on my
but
head.
Gotta balance it.
Yes. As I head out behind Dentes.
As they're all leaving, Asja's just gonna turn to the captain. I have a question because you seem to know the city a bit better. If somebody was looking for gemborn elves, maybe from refugees from many decades ago, do you know what part of the city they would look in?
They're not incredibly common here. I'm sure some of the merchants are of that sort. Not sure if any that comes to. Actually, no, I do remember one. There's the shop. It's a very odd shop. I mean, odd is in its name. The Mystic Curios, something like that. Oddity shop, whatever it is, on the harbor's edge. I believe the owner there is a gemborn as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Gives a little nod.
And she too will head out.
Rhukkarrak
near
will
the
turn
harbor.
to Maldorwen. Mal, are you trying to get robbed? What are you doing?
Huh? What do you mean?
Why did you put the pouch on your head like that?
Seemed like the most comfortable place to have it for the moment. If I put it in my pocket, it's gonna get very wet.
Okay. And he's just gonna keep walking.
Mal goes to reach for his coin bag. It's no longer there. Bump, bump, bump. No, I'm just kidding. I will say, go ahead and just roll acrobatics for me, just to see, like, if it falls at any point as you're walking.
Falls into the canal.
Oh no!
I'm gonna use tactical mind for this.
Okay. So that lets you
So
reroll
I'm gonna
again.
spend one of my second wind. Use
Okay.
and I'm gonna roll a d10. Add it to the roll.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna lose.
We'll say that as you're... Well, where are you guys all going?
Back
A
to
hot
the
meal in the bath sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it is getting... Like, the sun is setting currently. It is starting to become evening. Okay, so back to the Flaming Flagon you go, as
Yep.
I guess so.
you get in a ferry and start to make your way back. Maldorwen, as you're in, or getting into the ferry there, you do feel the coin pouch start to slide off your head. And it's gonna drop in this canal. I'll give you one more, just general dexterity check to see if you can snatch it before it falls.
Okay. Just dexterity?
Okay, easy
Okay,
enough.
that's better.
You barely grab it right before it like hits the water. You put it back on
So
your
I
head.
take the coin pouch and I give it to Ruka and say, Dentes, I think it's better that you keep an eye on both of us' gold, okay?
Sure.
Okay. With that, you ride back to the Flaming Flagon and acquire some stuff, maybe get a different change of clothes. Take those ones, and you're just heading to the bathhouse.
Yeah, when they get back to the Flame Flagon, Ruka is going to be like, he's just gonna, oh, I forgot, I only paid for the bath for the first night. Oh, you know what, you guys, go ahead without me, I'll just freshen up here. I'll just pay for tomorrow night.
Oh, I also don't want to take a second bath. The water over there is very weird. Thank you.
And he'll head to his room and freshen up.
Well, Asja is going to grab a quick meal, and then she as well is going to. I have something I would like to go do, and seeing as during the day we are busy with maybe things I don't want to do, but I'm doing anyway. I think tonight I'm going to take time to do something I would like to do.
Very well. I'm going
Enjoy
to go
your
sit in the
bath.
bathhouse. If you need anything, come get me, alright?
I will, no problem. I should be fine. I am going one place and then I am coming back. You won't even be back. Maybe I'll join you at the bathhouse.
Euan is also going to get a quick bite to eat, have this little conversation with Asja, and go submerge himself in the fire pool again.
Okay. Let's say tonight's dinner is quake shell, funny enough. And it's very durable, hearty meat that really fills you. Big old crab. And yeah, you all kind of disperse, break up. Euan go into the bathhouse, enjoying the nice, hot, elemental pool of fire water. Maldorwen and Rhukkarrak going up to their rooms. Asja heading out into the city. Asja, I'm assuming you're heading to the curio shop? Or where are you headed? Asja?
You are
I
currently
was
muted.
completely muted. I am so
Oh,
sorry.
no.
Yes, I am heading curios and oddities.
Okay, perfect. So you
Sorry, I had
basically...
a coughing fit.
No, you're all good. Drop off some stuff, get a change of clothes, head back out. And basically back to where you almost came from. Maldorwen and Rhukkarrak, you guys just... What are you doing? Just going to bed, brushing up, then resting? Anything else you want to do in the evening?
Well, Rhukkarrak's plan was to slip out while everyone was in the bath. But I guess... Yeah, no, he'll probably still try to slip out. If Maldorwen has already gone to bed and everyone else is left, then yeah, he'll head out as well.
Rhukkarrak's heading out as well. After people are dispersed, Maldorwen, you do anything special?
I was gonna stay up looking at the sky, but before that, I wanted to go downstairs and buy a storm brew.
Okay.
And I was actually gonna stand outside playing with my Malva's spoke, like practicing a little bit on my own, like doing sets, like with my feet and my knees, and then drinking my storm brew, preparing to go up again.
Okay, and the storm brew kind of is a punch of energy right to the face, right as you drink it. The zaps, and like all your muscles just feel more reactive for a moment. Then you continue to practice. Alright, as you do that, Euan is bathing. We'll follow Asja to begin with here. Go ahead and mark off another, like, silver-ish.
Okay.
For the boat ride back. And it's still bustling. The bustle is a little less-ing, as the sun has fully set now. You see Teradin starting to rise in the sky, as well as Lunar, the moon. And you eventually see, kind of remembering from the tour previously, that the oddities shop. So you kind of arrive at it. You kind of just see from the window there's just all manner of, like, what even is that? As you're looking in. The more you look, the more you're confused. It's like one of those badly generated AI images that you're like, I can't place any of these things here.
Oh no.
But you enter the oddity shop itself, as there are still a little bit of lights on inside, as they haven't fully closed up for the evening quite yet.
Okay, well, Asja is going to open the door, and in Elven, hello, is anyone still here? And kind of close the door behind her and move in a little, seeing as it looks like they are in the process of closing, I should say.
Yep. You do hear some shuffling and a voice. Oh, yes. Come on back. Who goes there? Welcome to the oddities. Your curiosity is an adventure.
Mm-hmm. As she approaches the back, she's gonna call it. My name is Asja Einarog. I was told that you might be somebody who could answer a question or two for me. And she will approach the figure.
As you don't see them to begin with, you're like, where is this voice coming from? As they then step out from another like cabinets that are lined with just manners of like crystal balls and reflecting like glasswares and whatnot. Some like glowing amulets. You're like, what does that do? I don't know. But as they kind of step outside, or step out of that, and so you can properly see them. Kind of elderly elven figure here. They're kind of hunched a little bit, their hands kind of clasped together, spectacles kind of on their face, like long flowing robes kind of adorn them as they kind of turn towards you. You do pick out, adorned to like a necklace, is an Elandris, It is dimmer than yours for sure, but it's not like
Mm-hmm.
incredibly out yet. They kind of look towards you.
Welcome in, dear. What can I curious you with?
One thing you have already curious me with is I should be more polite. And she'll kind of bow. My light sees your light, and I respect that yours is dimming, which means that your wisdom is great.
You
I
kind of
am a
notices.
survivor from Mythendrel.
Now that is curious indeed. Your light is quite bright, little one. How is this the case?
My grandmother and others were able to take some of the children from our district, and we ran into the desert shade woods, following some of the myths that they found in the archives of the great forest protectors. They figured if we were going to die, at least we should die trying to find somewhere safe. I was only about 20, maybe 22.
I see. An oddity of that.
But what I wanted to ask you is, outside of where I'm from, you are the first of my kind of gemborn elf, and, well, as I said, most of us were children. I'm just trying to ask if I could leave a list of names with you, so that if maybe another of our kind came through, you could ask them if any of the names seemed familiar. I am pretty sure my parents and my family are gone, but helping the others from my settlement, if they have anyone still left alive, I think that would be a joy for them.
Not many survived. I was not within the city when it fell. But yes, I would gladly do this thing.
Also, I have one more question. She kind of looks around. How much do you know about our primal stone? Because, at least in our settlement, we only have 4 crystals left. That's it. After when the 5th birth happens, I don't know what's going to happen if we don't have one for the new baby to connect with. That's why I've left our settlement.
There's a whole settlement of survivors?
You see,
There is a
like,
settlement of us.
wonder and curiosity, funny enough, kind of fill his eyes.
The people that arrived here were so few. I did not know any of them personally. Sorry, child, what was your name again?
Asja Einarog.
Yes, I think I do find that name familiar. Spiritual leaders, I believe.
That would be my grandmother you're probably speaking of.
It's been so long.
And now the responsibility is on me. So I need to try and find our stone again, and if I cannot free it from the Khazdurim, I need to at least find some to break off, because I don't know what happens to our kind when we do not connect with our crystals. Who knows, maybe the effects are the same as other effects that can happen to us when we lose things.
I do know that there are other gem-born elves other than we in Mithrandale. Florignis, the city far northwest of here, has a similar situation. They don't have a primal stone, though. They have a primal ember that encourages the growth of the elantris, but it's a very similar situation. It's a curious thing that... Let me have a look at this list you have.
She'll hand her the list, or hand him the list, sorry. You can keep that copy. I have another copy. I made sure to make many copies so that I could leave copies with people. Most of these names, some of these were adults, but most of these, unfortunately, many of the older adults have passed on. But most of these were children. I think in the beginning there was maybe about 60 of us, and only maybe 10, 15 adults. The rest of us were anywhere from tiny little babies in arms to just about adult. So...
He kind of is intently reading the paper, and you notice that his eyes kind of stop.
This...
He just kind of starts like stumbling through his words, not really knowing what to say.
Are you okay, grandfather?
Dusk Whisperer. The name there. It is my own. Venus Dusk Whisperer is who I am. This long lost kin? I had a brother who never made it out. He and his partner, I remember they had a little one. Is it really possible that they could still be alive?
They could. Are you talking about Alarian?
I don't know if I remember the name of the child. But no.
I know Alarian's last name is Dusk Whisperer.
Yes, right here.
And I can tell you all about him. He is my best friend. He helps me with everything spiritual back in Kurasata.
Where is this place?
It is hidden within the desert shade woods by the protector of the forest.
How do I travel there? These old bones, I don't know if they could even make it. Are Alarian's parents also within this safe haven, this place, settlement?
No. Alarian is one of the orphans like I am.
I see.
He and I worked very closely with my grandmother to learn so that he could become my second after my grandmother passed away. We both came to terms that while we had pain and we understood it, we also knew that our need to comfort everybody else was much greater So both of us have already accepted that more than likely we will never find our parents. But if he could find you, I'm sure that would bring him joy. He's very good at healing. He's very good at what he does. At some point, I could tell you many stories about him.
I would like that.
Well?
Yeah, wait here.
Kind of stumbles back, and you hear some more clattering and clanging through one of the back rooms before he returns, and has a small little box, like little chest of sorts.
I've held on to these for quite some time, but usually we don't see a whole lot of gem-born elves here. But those that are here, when they do have these needs, usually come to me, as I'm able to trade some with Flurighness.
And it kind of opens up the chest, and you see 3 gemstones there, kind of ruby-like gemstones.
They are more or less the same. This is all I have currently, though. I could potentially request more. How large is this settlement?
Not that large. We don't need 3. Our 4 should last us for the time that I'm gone. It's not like we've had a lot of time in the past 7 decades, almost 8, to do much life creation. But I'd say that there's maybe 150 to 200 of us now. But not everybody is from Mythendrel. We have some Drexir that have come through. And we have some other people that, when they were injured and they got brought to the city, they've decided to stay. So we do have other races now that live with us as well. Mostly just elves and Drexir, but sometimes other races come through. A lot don't stay, though. They just get healed or spend a season and then continue moving on.
Well, at least take these. I can acquire more. They are invaluable. But
is there anything you need? How about this? I will take these for now, but if you need anything, you can ask me to get it for you if you need it. And
please,
I will figure out a way to get you.
Tell Olarian of me. I would love to have a chance to meet them. I'm not sure how or if that's possible.
It's about 2 months southeast from here. As long as you were able to go with a guard, you should be safe. And when you get there, as long as you have need, you will find it. And I think your need and Alarian's need would be enough for you to find it. There's only one rule to my city, though. You must enter the city with a pure heart, with pure intention. We are not a place of war. We have seen enough of that. We are a place
The lands have seen enough of that.
We are very much a place of peace and healing. Like a giant hospital or something. Either way, I will come back and we will share tea and just talk more. I will tell you all about Ilarion. I have stories. I have stories. From when he was little and used to get in so much trouble. Up until now, when he has become one of the city's best healers.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. That is the first name crossed off the list. Out of, as you can see, many. I will leave the list with you, though, just in case anyone else comes through. Maybe you could ask them. I would appreciate it.
My memory is not what it once was. But your name, Inara. It sounds too familiar.
Perhaps you knew my grandmother, Shalana, sorry?
Perhaps. But when the survivors did arrive here, I was looking for my own kin, as one does, and was very disheartened to know that they weren't here. This gives me much joy. But I can almost swear that name was among them, in a rock. I don't want to give you false hope, but it's a possibility.
It is a possibility that maybe I should put my name on the list as well. But I am not the priority. Thank you, though. I will keep my ears open. The people I'm traveling with want to go to the elven capital city. Maybe I will have more luck finding more of the gemborn elves there. Maybe they continued on feeling safer. I don't know.
Well, good luck in your travels, and may the light guide you.
And you. But trust me, I will be back. Your story is very interesting. I got to around my box and I will bring tea, I will bring snacks, and you can show me around your shop while I talk your ear off about everything. Until then.
I would enjoy it.
I must go, though. I have to get good sleep tonight. Bye-bye. And she's just gonna walk out the door.
Okay. As you exit the door, kind of with newfound knowledge at your hands, part of what you set out to do, achieved. We'll kind of shift over to a little southern direction, where Rhukkarrak has just made his way towards the Tideborn markets, if I'm assuming correctly. All right. So as you kind of are walking the planks of the Tideborn markets here, the din of the chatter still is present, albeit less people shouting and whatnot. More just quieted kind of tradings and dealings going on here. And are you just making your way back to where you originally saw this floating boat?
Yep.
Alright. Eventually, after a good couple minutes walking, you kind of recalling the same steps you just took a couple hours back with Euan. And eventually you look, and it's not moored at the exact location that you last saw it. It kind of puts you puzzled for a moment. So you just look around for a minute. You can see it's just drifting slowly in between parts of the markets here.
It seems odd, but he'll go to it.
Okay. You kind of go to it, and there's a orcish individual kind of on the side of the boat that's just kind of looking down, looking at all the people. You kind of make eye contact. They kind of sneer at you. Looking for some drink?
Maybe a little drink, little information.
I see. Hey, stop the boat. As it kind of, you throw down a plank that kind of clatters to the other side as it kind of slowly lurches to a stop here. Welcome aboard the Drifting Hole. As you kind of step up, it's pretty grungy. Like, the sails are kind of tattered. It would not be seaworthy by any means. You see other kind of individuals that are just kind of sitting there. Not look like they're doing much. They kind of just give you glares. And he kind of motions towards a stairway that leads down into the actual kind of center of the ship. The tavern's down there.
Okay. Yep, he'll go down, find a proprietor.
Okay. So as you kind of step down the creaking stairs, each step creak, creak. You see a smaller interior here. It's not super wide. You see at the front of the ship, there's a small little bar, if you will, where another kind of taller individual is kind of just sitting there, shaking some sort of drink. And you see 3 other tables within this place, 2 of which contain other different patrons that bring no mind, and a third where you used to see a robed, kind of cloaked individual kind of leaning back.
Okay. You said there's a bartender?
Yep. And kind of looks up from the drink. Welcome in.
Thank you. I believe I'm expected.
Just kind of nods, pours a drink for you, and hands it to you. Then motions over to the table with the hooded figure.
I just nod. Thank you. And move over to the hooded figure. Take his drink.
The hooded figure just kind of doesn't even look up at you. Just kind of motions towards one of the chairs.
I'll take a seat.
Okay.
So, you, I hear you might have some information that is of interest to me. I'm assuming you are Shadowthorn?
The question is not who am I, but who are you? What brings you to this place?
I am Rhukkarrak. I am looking for a solution to the death energy that plagues my home village.
I have heard of you, Rhukkarrak. Cyril does tell much. And you have my curiosity piqued.
Is it enough for what I seek? Or is there more needed?
He just kind of stays silent. And kind of lifts his head to kind of meet your eyes, as you can't really make much out from the veil of the cloak that he's wearing.
He'll just sip his drink and stare back. See if he can get any kind of detail.
Go ahead and make a
Off his
perception
character.
check for me.
See if we can get something decent this time. Well, 13. Not bad.
Me too. Okay. With the cloak there, it's hard to make out any details, but you have unnatural vision, especially with darkness. And you do kind of see past the shadows somewhat, even though you swear the shadows cling to this individual more so than they should. As you kind of stare, you can see kind of like greenish eyes kind of staring back at you. But other than that, you can't make out much detail. You can tell more or less that they're elven in nature. And he kind of looks over to the barkeep. Looks back at you. Show me. With that, he kind of steps up very in a quick moment as the different lanterns here immediately go out, as the entire room is filled with pitch black, as he then swipes out towards you with some sort of movement.
Rhukka reacts by calling the darkness to himself and solidifying his armor.
Okay.
And kind of stepping up and back.
Go ahead and just roll a dex or initiative check for me.
Initiative? Okay. That is a...
Oh
4.
my goodness. Natural 20. All right. So I will say that you will get your armor off before, right as the dagger swings towards you. So we'll see if this hits you.
Oh,
Dirty 19. Okay, so even with the shadows kind of clinging to you, giving you an additional armor here, you do feel a little gash on the side. Nothing deep. You only take 1 point of slashing damage, but it's still painful as they start moving towards to make another attack. But as they do that, as the darkness kind of pervades around you, you're still able to make up the shapes and whatnot using your enhanced vision here. That is where we're going to pick up next week.
Okay.
Oh man.
Rhukkarrak's gonna be dead. It's fine. You'll see his body floating in the
You had
day in the
a
morning.
good run. We'll just lure
You've
the
got
giant-
water breathing. You've got water breathing. Just run and jump over the edge.
We'll just use your body to lure out the giant crab so we can have like a big crab boil tomorrow night.
Excellent. You know what? Rhukka would not want anything less.
I'll bring the butter.
Sacrificing yourself for crabs.